Yeah. Live from the John A. Barato Center on the campus of East Chicago Central High School, RRSN.com, in conjunction with Regional Radio Sports, presents the 2014 Boys High School basketball season here in Northwest Indiana. We're this evening in a non-conference matchup between two terrific rivals here in the region. The East Chicago Central Cardinals host the Bishop Noll Warriors. Good evening, everybody. Mike Knezovich along with Chris Adzia to bring you all this exciting play-by-play action between the Warriors and the Cardinals. The homestanding Cardinals checking in with a record of 10-6. And the Bishop Noll Warriors, rated number 3 in Class 2A, coming in with a mark of 16-2. And Chris, you being a former Warrior yourself, understand this particular rivalry. Two teams very close geographically to each other, even though they're not in the same conference. Should be a great ball game tonight.
Yeah, it really should. They're located right down the street from each other, Mike. It warms my heart to see the rivalry back in action here at the Barato Center, my favorite gym in Northwest Indiana. You know, I think because they don't play postseason against each other any longer, it's taken a little bit away from the rivalry. But we got two very athletic teams tonight, and we should have a lot of athleticism and get up and down the court tonight.
We should see a very hungry East Chicago Central team tonight, as they were knocked off the last time by Griffith by a score of 59-56. That broke a 5-game winning streak, Chris, that the Cardinals had developed, and they were really starting to play some very consistent basketball before the last time out.
Yeah, really a bump in the road there after the huge victory against Lake Central here on their home court. They go over to Griffith, stub their toe. After being up double digits late in that ball game, they just didn't finish the game. It needs to be a full 32 here tonight against the Bishop Noll Warriors for the Cardinals.
Cardinals are led by Hiram Edwards, their Division I recruit. Everybody's looking at him. He's a junior. He'll be back next year, averaging 20 points a game. Hit some big free throws down the stretch against Lake Central. His game really starting to come into form, Chris.
Well, Hiram's the type of player that's going to raise to the challenge. He raised his game against a great team like Lake Central. He's going to rise to the challenge tonight, I would expect, against a great team and a great program of Bishop Noll.
Gino Belwanami, the new head coach, or Josh Belwanami, the new head coach for Bishop Noll Warriors in his first season, took over a very established program from Drew Trost, who really had that particular ball club really going on all cylinders throughout the years. And now the Bishop Noll Warriors, 16-2 on the year, and they come in with a 9-game winning streak tonight.
Cupboard really wasn't bare for Coach when he took over this program. Of course, Larry Chrysler, a great leader, averaging 16 points a ball game. He's got a couple great athletes to go with him. With Marquise Tarver on the point, and Ty Gates averaging 14 points a game to go along with the 16 that Larry Chrysler pours in a game.
Bishop Noll's defense has really come to the forefront. They held a Valparaiso team under 40 points during the streak. They've also come up with some big wins against conference rival Marquette as well.
They only give up 48 points a ball game. It's a team that's capable of putting points on the board as well from the offensive end. It's going to be a lot of fun today to see who does a nice job in keeping the other team out of the paint. Both teams are going to want to go to the basket and go there often.
These teams have met 17 times in the last 15 years, and so far the East Chicago Central Cardinals have had the rule of the roost in this particular rivalry, but Bishop Noll is looking to get some momentum now heading to the 2A tournament in the postseason. So will the East Chicago Central Cardinals get back in their winning ways, or will Bishop Noll pick up their 10th win in a row? We'll find out after this brief timeout. It's senior night tonight as well here at the Barato Center as the East Chicago Central Cardinals host the Bishop Noll Warriors. You are watching and listening to exciting Northwest Indiana boys basketball action on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports, your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992.
State Farm Insurance asks, what if you're walking out to your car and it's been mashed by a runaway garbage truck? Having a State Farm agent means having a real person to help you when things go wrong. So when accidents happen, you've got someone you know who will be there when you need them. In Schererville, Ed Kozlowski, 6629 West US 30, Suite 7. Call Ed at 322-2010. In Dyer, Joe Lavasco, 1107 Sheffield Avenue. Call Joe at 865-6660. In Highland, Rhea Trufant, 8636 Kennedy Avenue. Call Rhea at 838-0858. And in Crown Point, Bob Reeds at 152 West Joliet. Call Bob at 663-7337. Get to a better state, State Farm.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Looking to start a new career at a cutting-edge, exciting, and globally competitive company? Enroll in Steelworker for the Future, a 2.5-year associate degree program offered at select community colleges, and you'll be prepared for a high-paying career at ArcelorMittal, the world's leading steel company. Graduates may be hired as maintenance technicians, earning an average of $90,000 per year, plus benefits. Your future with the leader in steel starts now. Visit steelworkerforthefuture.com today.
There's always only the truth, where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continue to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
Apologize for the little interruption in the video, folks, but it is senior night tonight, and they've got a terrific crowd here at the Barato Center, so they open up the bleachers behind us. So we're going to have nice crowd on here this evening. It is senior night tonight. So right now, these seniors from the basketball team, as well as some of the cheerleaders, they are being honored out here tonight at the Barado Center. And, Chris, let's take a look at the recent body of work here of the Bishop Knoll Warriors. They've obviously been on a nice roll lately.
Yeah, they really have. Their 2 losses, they come in at 16-2, have been to state-ranked teams. Marquette Catholic ranked number 5 in the 1A poll currently into Indianapolis Bray Buff. Ranked number 7 in the 3A poll. It was an 11-point loss, both coming in January. They've been on a roll ever since, averaging 66 points a ball game, or 69 points a ball game, only giving up 48. As we said in the pregame, Bishop Knoll comes to the forefront here with great athleticism, a little bit of size for a 2A school, and a lot of experience as well.
Prior to the ball game, we had a chance to visit with Josh Belwanami. Josh in his first season here with the Warriors, taking over for Drew Trost, as we talked about in the pregame. And we had a chance to visit with Josh and talk about this current role that the Warriors on, as well as a very impressive 16-2 mark here in the 2013 and 14 season for the Warriors.
Welcome back here to the pregame show on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports. Josh Belwamani, the head coach of the Bishop Knoll Warriors, is going to join us and coach 16 up and 2 down so far on the 2013 and 14 season. Give us an idea what it's been like, the adjustment of a first-year head coach in Northwest Indiana, taking over a established program there at BNI, and you guys doing a great job so far.
Yeah, I got very lucky this year. I have a very strong senior class to be able to walk into a situation like this. You know, like I said, I got very lucky. It's been a good season for us so far. I think we've kind of gone through the year trying to figure out what was going to be different with this team as opposed to last year. So, you know, there's been some ups and downs, even though the record is there. You know, we have struggled in games. So, you know, as far as the difference between last year's team and this year, you know, our guys worked really hard in the off season to improve their jump shots, so we are a much better shooting team this year, and that's kind of changed our identity on offense. We don't necessarily have to go to the rim as much as we have in the past because we can rely on knocking down some shots.
Coach, last time against a very good Griffith team by 15, a team that took Munster all the way down to the wire over at the field house. You had to be pretty pleased with the 32 minutes of effort against the Panthers.
Oh, we were, and it was completely done on the defensive end, especially in that second half and in that fourth quarter. Our offense absolutely came straight from our defense. We like to mix
on the boards. Touch base on those 3 seniors, leaders on the team, and the guys that are kind of setting the example for the future younger players for the Warriors.
Well, we knew coming in that Ty and Larry were going to be our guys. What we didn't realize is how much Marquise improved over the offseason. So, you know, he's been just a great surprise for us. Early in the year, he was our leading scorer. He's kind of taken a step back as Ty's gotten back into form after being hurt all fall. So, you know, the 3 guys together are doing a great job setting the example. You know, we usually have the ball in one of their 3 hands, so they really set the tone for us on offense.
And one of the young kids that's coming into his own now, Roman Penn, for you, Coach, your 5'10 guard, averaging just under 6 points a game, doing a great job at the free throw line, and he's hit 17 trays from the outside. How has he learned from the seniors to get into that role now as such a young player?
Well, he is one of the smartest basketball players I've seen in my time coaching, and he understands as a sophomore on a senior-heavy team exactly what his role is. And it's been on defense, and it's been knocking down some shots for us. He's going to be one of the better shooters in the area for the next 3 years. But defensively, he was one of the spark plugs against Griffith last week. The job he did on their point just absolutely set the tone for the rest of the team.
Give you a wrap-up, Coach. Let's take a look at keys of the game game. My broadcast partner, a former Warrior himself, and Chris Adzia knows about this rivalry. It's not even affiliated with a conference, but yet it's a terrific rivalry. Schools are very close together geographically and have had a rich tradition against each other. So as you take a look at their squad and their personnel and what you've been able to glean from scouting, let's take a look at offense and defense keys of the game if the Warriors are going to continue their winning ways this year.
Defensively, I've been very impressed with how hard they play. They are a tough bunch of kids, and we're really going to have to take care of the ball against them if we want to do well on offense. Defensively, though, they crash the boards really hard. Again, you go back to their toughness. They rebound the ball well. And then, of course, we got to keep the ball out of Hirad's hands and keep them from just absolutely carving us apart.
Josh Belwanamy, the first-year head coach for the Bishop Knoll Warriors. And, Chris, he knows he's very fortunate that he's got a really good group of seniors to come in his first year as a coach to make that transition. When you got those extra coaches on the court, it certainly helps out.
Well, it's a group of seniors that have, a couple guys that have been through the battles as well and played in big ball games with this program that, really expects success. And I talk about that a lot in terms of the responsibility. And you asked a great question about, the leadership to the young guys. And those young guys take that responsibility, upon their shoulders. And you see that with some of their older guys here coming up through the ranks in this program. But certainly winners of 9 in a row, they're on a roll right now. And they got their three-headed monster in Tarver, Gates, and Chrysler clicking on all cylinders currently.
We'll go ahead and take another 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll continue with senior night festivities here at the Barado Center. We'll also take a look at the slate of action here in Northwest Indiana tonight as we start to wind down the regular season. The pairings for the tournament, the second season, come up on Sunday night this weekend. And we'll continue on as well and visit with Abe Brown, the head coach of the Chicago Central Cardinals. We'll take a 2-minute timeout and come back. You're watching and listening to the Northwest Indiana Boys Basketball Game of the Week on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports.
Do you want a loan decision in just 15 minutes? Well, of course you do. No matter what your dream purchase, when you apply for a loan from Horizon Bank, we'll give you a quick response so you can buy it. Today, you'll get a decision about your loan within 15 minutes of submitting your application, guaranteed. Exceptional service, sensible advice. That's our promise to you.
Exceptional service, sensible advice. Horizon Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Learn more at horizonbank.com.
Are you confronted by chronic foot or ankle pain? Is your activity hampered by aching feet, knees, or a sore low back? At Breakthrough Podiatry, Bruce Williams, Doctor of Podiatric Medicine, challenges the old, outdated methods used by most podiatrists and attacks your foot and ankle pain head-on, getting you out of pain fast. Breakthrough Podiatry is always ahead of the pack, using cutting-edge technology and an advanced understanding of your entire body, lower extremities, and foot structure. Join the thousands of patients who have experienced Breakthrough Podiatry, a revolution in foot care. Convenient locations in Merrillville and Valparaiso. Call 219-769-0977 for an appointment today. That's 219-769-0977. Breakthrough Podiatry, a revolution in foot care. Bruce Williams, Doctor of Podiatric Medicine.
Franciscan Omni Health and Fitness is a complete health and fitness center that has served Northwest Indiana and the South Chicagoland communities for more than 35 years. With 2 locations in Schuverville and Chesterton, you can use 2 clubs for the price of 1. Omni continues to add new exciting fitness experiences, programs, and equipment, keeping our clubs on the cutting edge of health and fitness. Check out our website or call 219-865-6969 for Schuverville, 219-983-9832 for Chesterton.
Centier Bank has been named a 2013 top 3 best place to work in Indiana by the Indiana Chamber of Commerce, and they couldn't have done it without the trust, loyalty, and friendship of you, their valued customers. In return, they work hard to give you solid financial answers and outstanding customer service. Together with the community, they create one great place to work and bank. Centier Bank, member FDIC.
Mike Knesevich along with Chris Adzia back with you here at the Barado Center as we're getting set to conclude our senior night action out here tonight, honoring the players that have put in the time here at East Chicago Central High School and have had a terrific career here at the Barado Center. Chris, let's take a look at some of the other action which is happening across Northwest Indiana. We've got two other ball games on our affiliated stations tonight, WTMK 88.5 FM as well as WEFM 95.9 FM, Chris.
Well, they're in the Duneland Conference, those other games, so we'll start there, Mike. Lake Central travels over to the hub city in Crown Point. Lake Central comes in 14-3, 6-0 in conference. They'll take on Crown Point, as I said, 9-7, 3-3 in conference. LaPorte travels over to Portage. LaPorte comes in 12-6. Portage 9-9 on the year. Maryville will travel to Michigan City. Maryville comes in a surprising 2-13 in a rebuilding year. We'll take on upstart Michigan City 11-6. Now losers of 2 in a row. They were 4-0 in the Duneland. Lost 2 in a row recently. Valparaiso 11-7 will take on Chesterton at Chesterton. They come in 9-9, 2-4 in conference. That has a chance to be a pretty good one, Mike. In the Northwest Crossroads action tonight, Andrean travels to Munster. Munster, a state-ranked team at 16-4. Highland travels to Hobart. Kankakee Valley on the road in Griffith as we travel to the Great Lakes Conference. Clark on the road at Gavitt. Morton at Hammond High, so a couple rivalry games there in the Great Lakes tonight. In the Greater South Shore Conference, Wheeler at 6-10 will travel to 1A state-ranked Marquette Catholic at 11-6. In the Northwestern Conference, Lou Wallace travels to Roosevelt. In non-conference games tonight, Couch on the road to take on our buddy Coach Klaus at Hanover Central. Lacrosse at North Newton. Lake Station at Boone Grove. Lowell comes in tonight at 13-3. They'll travel to Hebron. North Judson on the road take on North Miami. Rensselaer at Twins Lake. And finally, Westville at Couch will round up the local action tonight, Mike.
You take a look at the slate for the East Chicago Central Cardinals, Chris, and their opponents' records a lot stronger than what we saw from the Bishop Knoll Warriors as far as their combined slate. But nonetheless, a very tough schedule and a situation here, Chris, where East Chicago could be very close to the 500 level going into the tournament, but still be the favorite heading into Sectional 1.
Yeah, there's no doubt. East Chicago year in and year out plays a tough schedule. Of course, being non-conference, they could go out and schedule anybody that they want to as long as there's a game available. And you talk about some of the places they've played this year at Munster on the road, number 14 in the 4A poll. They played the number 10 team in the 4A poll, North Central, the number 9 team in the 4A poll, Lake Central. They beat them by 8. The number 14 team in the 3A poll, Griffith. Tonight, Bishop Knoll, number 3 in 2A. And then they finish up with 3 tough teams on the road. South Bend Adams at 11-6. On the road at Bowman, a state-ranked team, number 2 in the 3A poll at 15-3. Then they finish up on the road at South Bend, Washington. They come in at 11-4 tonight, number 16 in the 4A poll. So it doesn't get any easier.
Today's broadcast of Cardinals basketball is brought to you in part by the Foundations of East Chicago, supporting our neighbors on the court or in the quality of life for all East Chicago residents. We do this through our scholarships programs, through financial support of local institutions like food pantries and churches, and by providing leadership and advice to help make our community the best that it can be. For more information, please visit our website, www.foundationsec.org.
Pre-game coverage of this non-conference matchup here at the Barado Center continues. Abe Brown from the East Chicago Central Cardinals is going to join us and coach a 5-game winning streak snap last time out against a very good Griffith Panther team, and a lot of emotions happening with the team recently, but got to give the Panthers credit. They got a pretty decent ball club.
Oh, yeah, they have a good team. You know, they're not the Panthers of old. They came out. We did jump up with a big lead. They were at home. They was in their comfort zone, so they continued to fight. They fight and claw back into the game and end up winning by 3. Like I said, credit goes out to them. They played a very well game that Saturday afternoon.
Coach, the 5-game winning streak before that, what's been kind of the common thread that's led to that success to get you guys over the hump and gets a little bit more consistency?
The guys been working a lot harder in practice, a lot more focused, and like a lot of my football guys, they got their legs back up under them. So that was a big thing. You know, guys, it just hasn't been 5 on nobody. It's been more 5 on 5s, and a lot of people have been able to go at each other and make each other work a lot harder. So I think that's that's what's been the thing to get us over the hump thus far.
Hiram Edwards had that great finish against Lake Central with some great free throw shooting and still distributing the basketball well. And you got to obviously be very pleased with his progress now as he's in the latter part of his junior year, really stepping up his A game.
Yes, he's really stepping up. And one thing that's helping Hiram this year, he don't have to do everything. Bring the ball up, look to shoot, and other things. We got other weapons that's around him that's helping him be able to more relax and get into his role as a scorer and a distributor.
And bench play is obviously going to come to the forefront here now as we head towards sectionals over here a little bit later on in March. Let's touch base on that. Are you pleased with the production you're getting, or do you think you can have a little bit better rotation in there with players 6, 7, 8, and 9? Well,
we've been good. Unfortunately, I didn't mention it before we spoke, but Martavius Carl dislocated his finger in practice the other day, so he's out until next Friday. So he has started to turn the corner. And other guys, Traquan Burnett has been playing well for us. Hopefully he can continue that. Jamar Adams, the freshman, and Jermaine Kuznar, they have been looking a lot more, I should say, settled in their role coming off the bench. So that helped us out a lot as well.
Give you a wrap-up, Coach. Let's take a look at keys of the game. You're taking on a Bishop Knoll team, 16-2 on the year, doing a terrific job under the first-year head coach. As you look at their personnel and what you've been able to accomplish here so far in the first 16, what are you going to have to do to win tonight?
Well, first thing we have to do is maintain, try to keep their guards maintain their guards. They got some great guards in Chrysler and the other two kids that can shoot well, 12 and 20. Then number 22 is on the inside. He plays very well. So we just got to make sure we keep them out of the lane, contain them around the perimeter. Don't let them give them too many open looks because they can knock down the three. If we do those things, play the defense that we know how to play, I think we should be okay tonight.
Always appreciate the time, Coach.
Oh, same here.
Calumet College of St. Joseph is your university of choice and the region home for Crimson Wave athletics. Men's and women's basketball, along with wrestling, track and field, as well as CCSJ's nationally ranked bowling teams, will be in full action during the winter season. Follow all 18 Crimson Wave teams year-round by going to their website, www.crimsonwaveathletics.com. And Chris, let's take a look at the thumbnail sketch of head coach A. Brown.
Well, A. Brown, in his 7th year at the school, a 65% winning percentage, a 95-52 record overall. Of course, has a sectional championship under his belt already in his first year at E Chicago. And, you talk about Coach Brown. He talked about defensively setting the tempo. And it all starts with his guards. And he's got a pair of good ones on the defensive end. And that's Jeremiah Choa and Hiram Edwards. We're going to see some good matchups in the backcourt. You look at Bishop Knoll's lineup. In terms of thievery, between the two of them, Marquise Tarver and Larry Chrysler averaged 5 steals a ball game for Coach Bellowanami. So it's going to be a good backcourt matchup here on the defensive end tonight.
Maryville, your wait is finally over. Berman's Infinity of Maryville is now open. All new dealership, all new lineup. Stop in and see General Manager Jay Chang. Ask Jay how you can get into a new or pre-driven vehicle. Come into Berman's Infinity of Maryville and think real value. All new dealership, all new lineup. Don't miss it. Berman's Infinity of Maryville. Visit InfinityNWI.com for all specials. And Chris, very disappointing ending to the game last time out for East Chicago Central. A double-digit lead in the fourth quarter of that particular ball game. A key miss by Edwards on a breakaway dunk attempt. The momentum changed, and East Chicago Central faltered down the stretch.
Yeah, almost, you look at it as a freak accident almost. You look at how well Central ends their schedule in these tough teams. I thought Griffith, although a great record and a state-ranked team at number 14 in 3A, I thought that was the one game that you could chalk up as a victory for East Chicago. And, that's why you play the game, Mike. And we've been talking all year on these East Chicago broadcasts. And, it's been about a full 4 quarters for them. You have to play 32 minutes. And they've become closer in doing that lately more consistently. But there's a perfect example where they played about 28 minutes of good basketball, up double digits in the last 4 minutes. The game really got away from them.
And that'll be something that we'll definitely keep an eye on as we head down the stretch with this tough schedule, heading into Sectional 1 play over here at the Bravado Center when you have the likes of Munster and Lake Central coming in here trying to knock off the home team here in East Chicago Central. And this Cardinals basketball broadcast is brought to you in part by the Foundations of East Chicago, an organization dedicated to supporting our community on and off the court. through our academic scholarship programs, our grant programs for local charitable institutions, and our leadership, the Foundations of East Chicago is dedicated to helping to make our community the best that it can be. For more information, please visit our website at www.foundationsec.org. Mike Knezovich and Chris Adzia with you here. As we mentioned, we've got two other crews on Northwest Indiana. Our crew with David Miller, along with Frank Keel. They are over in the Hub City tonight for the Duneland Athletic Conference matchup between Crown Point and Lake Central. That's for the lead in the DAC. That game's on 88.5 FM, WTMK, and also right here on our website at rrsn.com. Meanwhile, Steve Dahl, along with Matt Workman, they are over at the Wolves Den in Michigan City tonight for the matchup in the Duneland between Michigan City and Maryville as the Wolves try to right the ship in that one. And that's on our affiliated station out in LaPorte and Porter County, WEFM 95.9, as well as rrsn.com. Tomorrow we will have wall-to-wall girls sectional regional coverage for you here on Regional Radio Sports. Yours truly, along with Pat Doherty, we will be over at Caston High School for the matchup between Morgan Township and Oregon Davis, the number 1 rated team in Class 1A. And that will be on 88.5 FM as well as right here on rrsn.com. Meanwhile, Steve Dahl and Dave Miller, they'll be over at the Palace in Osceola, as they will be there for the Class 4A matchup, Chris, and a couple of local teams that'll be battling in Northwest Indiana for a regional championship in 4A.
Yeah, that'll be at Penn High School. The first game, 10:30 region time. Maryville, number 13 in the 4A poll, 16-6. Off an upset victory of the LaPorte Lady Slicers last week, will take on the homestanding Penn High School, ranked number 4 at 22-1. So Maryville certainly has their work cut out for them. The second game there at Penn High School tomorrow will be 18-4 Northridge battling Gary Westside. They come in at 17-3 off the upset against Lake Central last week.
We want to thank all of our season sponsors for our award-winning and positive promotion and coverage of student athletes on Regional Radio Sports Network in the 2014 season. And they include State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By ArcelorMittal, guiding the evolution of steel and creating opportunities in the industry to redefine excellence and transform tomorrow. By Scapel Buick GMC, located at 3209 West Lincoln Highway on Route 30 in Maryville. Centier Bank, independently owned and operated, serving 44 locations in Lake Porter, LaPorte, and Marshall counties. Teachers Credit Union. TCU provides many products and services that can help keep your finances on track. Visit them online at tcunet.com. The United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. If you think you have what it takes, call 1-800-MARINES or log on to marines.com. By Breakthrough Podiatry, a revolution in healthcare and foot care. Visit Dr. Bruce Williams in Maryville and Valparaiso or go online at knowyourfeet.com. By Horizon Bank. Did you know that Horizon Bank is a top 200 community bank as rated by U.S. Banker? Horizon Bank, exceptional service and sensible advice. By Berman's Infinity of Maryville, Indiana. Your wait is over. Time to think real value. Visit InfinityNWI.com today. By Omni 41 and Parisi Speed School. Champions train at Parisi. Omni 41 dedicated to enriching the lives of our members and guests 24 hours a day. By Albert's Diamond Jewelers of Cherville, Indiana. In business for over 100 years and simply has the largest selection of brilliant diamonds in the Midwest. By Levin Tire. With 7 convenient Northwest Indiana locations, Levin Tire, earning your trust one day at a time since 1918. By Tech Federal Credit Union. For a great rate and convenient terms on a vehicle, home, personal, and business loan, it's Tech Federal Credit Union. By Christensen Chevrolet on 45th Street and Indianapolis Boulevard in Highland. Purdue University Calumet. Phone 1-800-HI-PURDUE or look them up on the web at calumet.purdue.edu. By Schwartz, Retson & Company, PC, an accounting firm located on East 86th Avenue in Maryville. By Nitco. Connected. Always. Make the switch today and start saving big at nitco.com. We also want to thank our East Chicago sponsors who have been with us all season long here on rrsn.com and Regional Radio Sports. and they include Fife Funeral Home on Indianapolis Boulevard in East Chicago, family-owned and operated since 1898 by the foundations of East Chicago, making a difference in people's lives by believing in trust, accountability, honesty, integrity, and responsible stewardship. By attorney Lonnie Randolph on Columbus Drive in East Chicago. By the American Legion post number 369 on Chicago Avenue in East Chicago. And Calumet College of St. Joseph's, your university of choice for degrees in forensic science, restoration ecology, exercise and sports sciences, and pre-professional life science on the web at www.ccsj.edu. We're going to go ahead and take a 2-minute timeout. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look at the rest of the girls' slate across the state of Indiana, and we'll also take a look at some of the key matchups on the court happening tonight right in front of you here on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports, your ticket to the best seat in the house since 1992.
Are you confronted by chronic foot or ankle pain? Is your activity hampered by aching feet, knees, or a sore low back? At Breakthrough Podiatry, Bruce Williams, Doctor of Podiatric Medicine, challenges the old, outdated methods used by most podiatrists and attacks your foot and ankle pain head-on, getting you out of pain fast. Breakthrough Podiatry is always ahead of the pack, using cutting-edge technology and an advanced understanding of your entire body, lower extremities, and foot structure. Join the thousands of patients who have experienced Breakthrough Podiatry, a revolution in foot care. Convenient locations in Merrillville and Valparaiso. Call 219-769-0977 for an appointment today. That's 219-769-0977. Breakthrough Podiatry, a revolution in foot care. Bruce Williams, Doctor of Podiatric Medicine.
Looking to start a new career at a cutting-edge, exciting, and globally competitive company? Enroll in Steelworker for the Future, a 2.5-year associate degree program offered at select community colleges, and you'll be prepared for a high-paying career at ArcelorMittal, the world's leading steel company. Graduates may be hired as maintenance technicians, earning an average of $90,000 per year, plus benefits. Your future with the leader in steel starts now. Visit steelworkerforthefuture.com today.
State Farm Insurance reports that 1 in 3 drivers is cruising around in a state of skepticism about just how much value their car insurance company is delivering. If you're one of them, State Farm can help you get to a better state because they'll talk with you, listen to you, and help you put together a policy that has you written all over it. From cost to coverage, all backed by 24/7 customer support. In Griffith, Tom Jerome at 821 West 45th Street. Call Tom at 924-1199. In Griffith, Ken Weldon, 124 North Griffith Boulevard. Call Ken at 922-6200. And in Valparaiso, Rob Rudegas, 835 Lincoln Way. Call Rob at 476-7444. Get to a better state with State Farm.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Mike Knezovich along with Chris Adzia back with you here again. Special thanks to Ryan Knezovich for doing a great job getting moved all over the place here tonight, but hanging there with us and catching all the sights and sounds here. As there you take a look in the right-hand side as Josh Belwamini, the first-year head coach with the beard there coming into your screen. He's the first-year head coach over at Bishop Knoll Institute, and he will be leading his Warriors into this ball game tonight, Chris, and some great matchups here as you take a look at the backcourt. This Bishop Knoll team lost a ton from last year's ball club as they lost 3 starting guards. They lost Martin Shear to a transfer. Matt Sandoval, their starting guard, graduated from last year. And then James Neighbors, who was penciled in as a starting guard this season, was lost for the season with a shin injury. But Josh and the staff have kind of pasted things together and doing pretty well in that backcourt.
Yeah, next man in, I guess. The whole philosophy, guys leave and other guys step up and take their spots. Certainly coming off a great year last year 19-5 overall before their 13-point loss to Bowman Academy in the sectional. Certainly Bowman not a worry for Bishop Knoll this year in sectional play as they moved up. But, it all starts with the three guys, the three-headed monster. Marquise Tarver, a 5'10 senior, averaging 13.5 points a ball game, to go along with what we said, 2.1 steals a game, shoots 52% from the field and has 32 threes on the year. Of course, Ty Gates, a 6'3 senior, great athlete, 14 points a ball game. And Larry Chrysler, now a senior. He's been playing for 4 years, 16 points a ball game, 5 rebounds, and nearly 3 steals a ball game.
Young man's going to end up playing baseball next season over at Indiana University in Bloomington, an all-state outfielder for the Warriors, and winning all kinds of postseason honors for that particular prowess on the diamond. And Tech Credit Union's Great Rate event is your chance to get a low 1.99% loan rate on cars, trucks, or motorcycles. This great rate is good on vehicles valued at just $5,000 or more, and you can borrow up to 60 months. New, used, or refinance, you'll save money with Tech's 1.99 annual percentage rate. For details, visit Tech Credit Union online at techcu.org. Contact any branch or call their lending specialist at 800-276-TECH. That's 800-276-8324. Tech Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender and is federally insured by the National Credit Union Administration. Offer may end without notice, Chris.
After 107 years in business, Albert's Diamond Jewelers is the oldest and most respected jewelry store in Northwest Indiana. Their reputation, it's worth its weight in gold. They have been voted the #1 jewelry store in the Best of the Region contest 16 years in a row. Trust their family to buy your unwanted jewelry, gold, silver coins, diamonds, and watches at the very best prices. That's Albert's Diamond Jewelers, 711 Main Street in Cherryville and in the South Lake Mall in Maryville.
The other question here, Chris, with that backcourt, you take a look at Tarver at 5'10", and then you have Ty Gates at 6'3", and Chrysler at 6'3". Very rare to have that kind of height in your backcourt there. That's going to make it a little bit more difficult for Hiram Edwards to post up down low.
Yeah, Bishop Knoll has pretty good size for a 2A school. They also on the front court have Michael Jakubowski. He's a slender 6'5", and they round out their starting roster as a 5'10 sophomore Roman Penn, a very steady player at 5.5 points a ball game. But I think Bishop Knoll, when you look at him, has a very good mix of athletic ability to go along with a little bit of size as well.
Meanwhile, East Chicago's bench is going to be shorter tonight because Marty Carter, the recruit going to Northern Illinois on the football scholarship, he dislocated his finger in a drill this week. The bone actually came out of the skin of his pinky on his hand. He asked the coach if he could go back in. I think maybe a little bit of that gridiron mentality coming to the forefront.
Yeah, Carter told coach he has 9 more fingers. Just tape it up and put me back in. But, that's a loss for East Chicago in their depth. And Marty Carter's been a guy that's provided a spark off their bench in some senior leadership, especially late in the season.
We're going to now go ahead and face towards Old Glory here to our immediate left as the crowd gets on its feet. One of the rare times this season, unfortunately, that the bleachers have been opened up behind us. So we're going to have a very loud and terrific crowd out here tonight. But right now, more importantly, it's time to honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Again, special thanks go out to all of our men and women fighting for our freedom each and every day here in the United States as well as overseas. And again, providing us with the freedoms that sometimes we take so much for granted here in the United States of America.
With the singing of our national anthem.
Crowd is on its feet here. Some of the students from East Chicago Central High School gathering around the midcourt stripe here. And we will have the singing of our national anthem here prior to this game between Bishop Knoll and East Chicago Central. And terrific job by some of the students here at East Chicago Central of our national anthem out here this evening. And so glad you could join us here for what should be a terrific ball game between two long-standing rivals here in Northwest Indiana as the Bishop Knoll Warriors take on the East Chicago Central Cardinals. Our starting lineups are brought to us by the American Legion Post number 369 at 1401 West Chicago Avenue in East Chicago. It's the place to be for bingo on Sunday afternoons. Doors opening at 3 p.m. and on Wednesdays, doors opening at 4 p.m. You can also give them a call at 219-398-1802, extension 23, for more information regarding hall rental of their spacious facility. Building manager Marty Ziglowitz, Commander Noreen Komasinski, and the rest of the Allied American Legion Post number 369 membership wishes the East Chicago Central Cardinals best of luck in today's game and reminds all the veterans out there to join us by going to our website at HoosierLegionnaire.org. And with our starting lineup, the former Warrior himself, Chris Adzia. Chris?
Well, Bishop Knoll comes in ranked number 3 in the 2A poll at 16-2. Their starting backcourt will be Marquise Tarver, a 5'10 senior, averaging 13.5 points a ball game to go along with 2.1 steals. His running mate will be number 20, Roman Penn, a 5'10 sophomore, averaging 5.5 points a ball game, shooting 82% from the free throw line. The forwards, Ty Gates, a 6'3 senior, averaging 14 points a ball game, and Larry Chrysler, a 6'3 senior, averaging 16 points a ball game and 5 rebounds. And the man in the middle, a 6'5 senior, Michael Jakubowski, averaging 3.5 points and 2 rebounds a ball game, Mike.
Our pregame show is brought to you by Calumet College of St. Joseph. It has the lowest tuition of any private college in Indiana. It offers traditional programs with flexible class schedules, accelerated programs to help adults earn their bachelor's degree in as little as 12 months, and master's programs specifically designed for working adults. Some classes are also offered at the University Center in Portage. Make CCSJ your university of choice. For more information, call 219-473-4215 or check out their website at www.ccsj.edu. Let's take a look at the cards, Chris.
Abe Brown comes in, and his Cardinals at 10-6. They'll have 2 guards and 3 forwards in their lineup tonight. Hiron Edwards, a 6-foot junior. Number 15, Jeremiah Choa, a 6'1 senior, averaging 7 points a ball game. Hiron Edwards, of course, averaging 20 points a ball game. Forwards will be Ricky Reedus, a 6'3 senior, averaging a 1 point and 2 rebounds a game. Jalen Blackman, a 6'4 senior, 9 points, 7.5 rebounds a ball game. And Damian Jefferson, a 6'4 sophomore, 14.5 points a ball game and 7 rebounds.
So strap it down, lock it in here at RRSN.com as we give you a little matchup here between a Class 4A team and a Class 2A team. 2 teams that are definitely looking here to go places in the postseason. Chris, you got our officiating crew tonight.
Rob Bishop, Raleigh Thiel, and Mike Mendoza are the officials on tonight's ball game.
So we'll keep an eye on the situation with Marty Carter missing the game tonight and how that's going to affect the rotation for head coach A. Brown for the Cardinals. Meanwhile, Bishop Knoll trying to pick up their 10th consecutive win of the year as Jefferson goes up against Chrysler and wins the tap easily. Back to Ochoa. And let's see what Bishop Knoll decides to start out in. It looks like it's going to be a 2-3 zone, Chris.
A 2-3 zone, oddly enough, Mike. Both of these teams coming off games against Griffith. Bishop Knoll was a 15-point victory over Griffith. East Chicago, unfortunately, a 3-point loss, as we talked about.
Ricky Reedus dealing with some family tragedy out there right now in the starting lineup. Turnaround jump shot by Jefferson is off the mark, no good. Reedus gets the rebound and throws it right through the wickets of Edwards. It was a good idea there, Chris, but a little bit too much of a hot potato.
Yeah, a little hot potato there. Tough pass in traffic. I like the effort on the offensive end. Bishop Knoll, to be successful tonight, will have to contain East Chicago on the boards. East Chicago averages 35.5 rebounds a ball game. Bishop Knoll less than 29.
Ty Gates, quarterback in the offense between the rings for the Warriors, trying to get by Gates on the play now. Chrysler with a nice pass down low to Marquise Tarver, rejected by Reedus and corralled on the play by Hiron Edwards. So we played a minute of scoreless basketball. Now here's Blackman gliding and flying and put it in off the assist from Hiron Edwards.
Well, we've talked about him coming on late in the year 9 points a ball game, 7.5 rebounds. Those are good numbers for A. Brown.
He is a guy that will definitely hit the offensive glass. Roman Penn now goes right side, free throw line extended to Tarver. They try to go to Jakubowski with a backdoor cut, and that results in the first Warrior turnover. So 2-0 lead for the homestanding Cardinals as they bring it right through the middle of the midcourt circle. Bishop Knoll going to stay in that 2-3 zone as both Penn and Tarver coming out on the ball. Jefferson fires over the top of it, left it short, and the ball deflects off the Cardinals out of bounds. Rob Bishop on the call.
Well, you look for East Chicago to get a lot of looks from the three-point land against that 2-3 zone, most specifically Damian Jefferson and Hiron Edwards.
Full court pressure again being employed by the Cardinals as Chrysler meets the basketball off the feed from Gates, and now Ty will bring it up. Ty Gates coming off that broken foot, missed a lot of AAU action and has not been getting a lot of looks so far because of that. At the right elbow, took it up strong, shot no good. Jakubowski trying to save it off of Edwards, and in midair was able to knock it off the junior star guard for the Cardinals.
Well, you just look at this Bishop Knoll ball club and their two athletes, Larry Chrysler and Ty Gates, both 6'3", both physically imposing with their upper body strength as well.
Chrysler comes off the timeout on the out-of-bounds play and gets the basket, and we have our first tie here this evening at 2. Pun intended, I guess. Again, the Warriors stay in that 2-3 zone. Jakubowski filling the middle of the lane with Chrysler to the near side, and Ty Gates to the far, matched up against Jalen Blackman. That'll be a good matchup to watch as well. Jefferson now kicks it back out to Ochoa. Jeremiah pops it at the left elbow, in and out, no good. Blackman trying to get the rebound, and the ball tipped out to Marquise Tarver, goes coast to coast, laid it up and in over Jefferson.
Well, Tarver had nice touch going full speed, had to shoot it softly with the defender on his back.
Visitors have doubled up now on the guests that are the home team at 4-2. A. Brown calls out the play. Jefferson down on the baseline to Blackman. And that's that one spot in the zone right there in the corner, Chris. Free throw line extended where some damage can be done by the Cards.
And it'll be open as well. They're really shading the Hiron Edwards side, obviously, in this zone.
Ochoa's going to get called for an offensive foul on the drive to the hoop. So he draws the personal foul on the play and the second turnover on EC.
Well, Cho is able to get it into the heart of the defense, as you just talked about. A little bit out of control, left his feet to pass the ball. Never a good idea.
Good job by the Warriors to stand their ground down low in the post and create the contact. Coming up on the halfway part of the first quarter in a low-scoring affair. 4-2 lead for the Warriors. Chrysler now jumps over Ochoa, left it short. Tarver trying to get in there, but Jefferson comes down with the rebound for the Cards. Quickly they go down to Ricky Reedus, and our square goes up and under, and he drew the contact on Jakubowski. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Get the red carpet treatment at Christensen Chevy in Highland. For a limited time, you can get $1,500 cash back bonus during our President's Day sale. Check out the great deals on the new 2014 Chevys, including the Spark LS, Sonic LS, Cruise LS, Equinox LS, and the Silverado 1599. Looking for a used car? You can shop in comfort in our huge indoor showroom with nearly 100 vehicles in stock. Proudly serving you since 1951, Christensen Chevy is located at 9700 Indianapolis Boulevard. The phone number is 888-999-9141, and the website is www.christensenchevy.com.
Gates clears the miss on the second free throw by Reedus, who goes 0 for 2 from the line. Central coming in at 65% on the season. Now Tarver in the twilight zone will bring it back out. 4:23 remaining in the opening quarter. 4-2 lead. Now Roman Penn, the sophomore, lost it. East Chicago Central could not save. The Warriors retained possession.
You know, we've seen a lot of East Chicago this year, Mike, and they really come out and pressure you early. After 2 possessions early in this ball game, you can see that they have a respect for Bishop Knoll's quickness because they've already backed off of him a little bit.
Jakubowski with a wide-open layoff off the Penn feed, and the 6'5 senior has a 3.70 GPA. Does a great job to extend the Warrior lead to 4 at 6-2. By halfway through the first quarter, Chris, and the Cards are stuck on 2 points.
Not one shot attempt yet for Hiron Edwards.
Ochoa between the rings, guarded by Penn. Good job by Roman to get out those lanky arms on him. Edwards trying to drive, tough shot over Gates, hit the side of the backboard. Tarver the rebound. Warriors now with a 4-on-2 if they hurry. Chrysler off to the outside. The Ty Gates blew the bunny, but then tapped it up and in on the rebound.
Now 2 points apiece by 4 different Warrior players, really spreading it around.
Edwards outside to Jefferson. Damian with a bank shot, left it short. Rita's trying to keep it alive. Goes back down to Damian. He banked it up, no good. Tipped by Blackman, no good. Tipped again, no good. And the rebound finally off to the Warriors. Back comes Tarver the other way. Missed the bunny. And Rita's the rebound for East Chicago Central.
Well, 4 attempts at it that time for East Chicago came up empty.
And the Warriors did a good job, Chris, getting on the break, but just couldn't get the ball to go down. Jalen Horde, a 6'4 senior, getting ready to come in as the three-pointer is buried by double ones. Hiram Edwards, that's his 44th of the year.
Ty Gates right back with the answer for Bishop Knoll quickly after the Hiram Edwards three-point score.
Warriors have doubled up now at 10-5. Now Damian Jefferson pops the tray, left it short. Rebound to Chrysler, quickly over to Tarver, took it up and got clobbered by Edwards. And right now the Warriors are beating the Cards at their own game.
Nitco and Dish team up. Triple play Nitco Dish services are now available in your own backyard, and your home team will love it. They'll enjoy fast broadband internet, voice communication with landline reliability, and Dish television with Hopper that allows you to skip those annoying TV commercials and watch your TV anytime, anywhere. Make the switch today and start saving big. Fast, reliable, local, Nitco, connected, always. Call 219-996-2981 or visit www.nitco.com for more information.
Ryan gave us a nice look there at the shoes of Marquise Tarver, 5'10 and a senior, averaging 13.6 a game, shooting at 67% from the line. He hit the first one to extend the lead to 6. One more, he eyes, flies, and got them both. He's got 4 along with Gates. Biggest lead for the Warriors now at 7. Jefferson eyes, flies, and banked it up and in off the right side for his first 2 points tonight. Now a steal off the inbounds as Ochoa missed it, and the newly inserted Traquan Burnett had to go off his arms out of bounds. Again, full court pressure by EC as Penn tries to beat it down the sideline. Cuts to the middle, bounce pass underneath, and the newly inserted Jalen Horde gets fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Destination success, destination fulfillment, destination Purdue-Calumet. Purdue University Calumet in Hammond offers a thriving graduate program of 14 master's degrees, offerings, numerous certificates, research opportunities, and a Purdue prestige, all at an affordable price. For details, visit online at purduecal.edu/grad school. On the road to success and fulfillment, make Purdue-Calumet your destination.
Horde misses the first one as Joakim Smith, the 6'3 senior, enters the lineup along with Traquan Burnett, a 6'3 senior. For head coach A. Brown, as Horde missed both free throws badly, and the rebound down to the Cardinals. They trail by 5 now with 2 minutes. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter of play. 12-7 lead for BNI. Now Ochoa between the rings, left elbow to Jefferson. Nice aggressive move, and he kisses it off the glass. And that was a great job of getting into that seam of the 2-3. Chrysler comes back with a 3, misses it. Nice offensive rebound by Horde to get it back for another chance. Ty Gates back the other way for the reverse layup.
Well, nice patience. I like Gates down low using his strength. Great head fake after the skip pass down low.
Half a dozen now for the 6'3 senior. As we mentioned, missed a lot of the offseason because of an injury, but he is back full force now, averaging over 13 a game. Laser beam pass went through the wickets of Burnett on the baseline, and now into the ball game for the first time tonight will be number 32, Lee Howard, a 6'4 junior, averaging 2.5 points off the bench for Coach Balwamini.
We talked about Bishop Knoll's very steady size. They bring in 2 6'4 kids off the bench so they don't lose anything along that front line.
They got Nick Nelson at 6'6 as well, as now Roman Penn kicks it back out. 3-pointer by Tarver, nothing but the bottom of the net. Tarver leads the Warriors now with 33 home run balls from the outside. Warriors now with their biggest lead at 8. Jefferson trying to answer. Weak side attempt by Ochoa, but a good job by Gates to corral the ball for double deuce. Roman Penn now with 45 seconds remaining. Took it up on Damian and threw the basketball away. Good anticipation there by Jefferson, as now Nehemiah Daniels comes in for the Cards.
Well, Tarver was in that right corner. He broke to the basket. Penn thought he was still out in the corner. He lost his balance a little bit driving to the basket.
Jacinto Carter also will make an appearance. He's a 5'9 senior. Coach Josh told me they go about 11 deep. Edwards will get a break as well. As into the ball game is Jamar Adams, a 6'1 freshman. So both teams going to the bench early and often here tonight. 30 seconds remaining in the stanza. 17-9 lead for the visitors on the scoreboard, the Bishop Knoll Warriors. Trying to pick up their 10th win in a row this season. By far the biggest winning streak in the region so far. Now a steal on the play as Tarver picked the pocket of Daniels and he scored.
Just quickness that time by Tarver. No excuse for that if you're East Chicago Central.
Huge mistake there by the youngster. 7 seconds remaining. 19-9 lead for Bishop Knoll as now Jefferson eyes flies and a blocking foul is going to be called on Howard, and that'll send Damien to the line to shoot a pair.
Fife Funeral Home, located at 4201 Indianapolis Boulevard in East Chicago, has been family-owned and operated in Northwest Indiana since 1898. They offer cremation and burial services, and they also provide for funeral prearrangement and insurance needs. The phone number for Fife Funeral Home in East Chicago is 219-398-3210.
Damian Jefferson, a 72% free throw shooter to lead the team, trying to get the first charity toss of the evening for the Cardinals, and he does. So he'll get one more and try to make it a half a dozen to lead the Cards in scoring. Tarver leads all scorers with 9 so far here in the first quarter. There's only 0.2 seconds remaining, so a catch and throw here by the Warriors if it's missed. It is missed on the play, and Chrysler cannot get it off on the play. So Jefferson finishes the first quarter with 5, and we completed 8 minutes of action here at the Barado Center. The score at East Chicago Central is Bishop Knoll 19 and East Chicago Central 10. We'll take a 60-second timeout and come back with the second quarter of play. You are watching the Northwest Indiana Boys Basketball Game of the Week on RSN.com and Regional Radio Sports.
State Farm Insurance asks, if you're feeling stuck in a state of compensation stagnation, another year with no raise, then let State Farm help you get to a better state with a discount double check that can stretch your hard-earned dollars a little farther. They'll go through your car insurance to make sure you're getting all the discounts you deserve. Discounts could add up to 40% to put a few hundred extra dollars in your pocket. Discounts may vary state to state. In Maryville, Don Gray at 2105 West Lincoln Highway. Phone Don at 769-9120. In Valparaiso, Greg Taylor, 390 West US Highway 6. Call Greg at 762-4911. And in Hobart, Danny DeTola, 8792 East Ridge Road. Phone Danny at 963-4444. Get to a better state with State Farm.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Mike Knezovich, Chris Adzia, Ryan Knezovich capturing all the action for the fans here at the Barado Center. Chris, your impressions in the first 8?
Well, so far I've been very impressed by Bishop Knoll, both their strength and athletic ability, taking it right to East Chicago. They've been the aggressor.
Chrysler misses that one badly on a short shot from about 17 feet. That was just good defense by the Cardinals that time.
Bishop Knoll is my first time seeing them this year. They just look like a mature group, both physically and mentally confident, very calm and athletic on the court.
1-3-1 half-court trap being employed here with number 5, Jacinto Carter at the point. Dangerous cross-court pass over to Hiron. Bishop Knoll with their biggest lead at 9 on defense in the blue jerseys. Edwards in the twilight zone now. Bounce pass in the corner to Jefferson. Slash pass down low to Blackman. Give the assist to DJ.
Well, great hands by Blackman. He fumbled it a little bit, was able to find the seams and score.
Now Chrysler's going to draw a foul on the floor, and it will be on Ochoa. That's his second now. Let's see if Abe Brown's going to go to the bench, and he will bring in the freshman, Jermaine Kuznard, number 21, who saw a lot of action in the JV game earlier.
Had a lot of threes in that JV game as well. It was a blowout from East Chicago, led by Kuznard.
Yeah, I bet. I think they only have one loss. Is now a reverse layup attempt by Ty Gates. Got stuck underneath the basket. Kuznard with a feed, weak side to Blackman, filling the lane. And he's got 4 quick points here in the quarter. Now Roman Penn goes ahead and corrals the loose pumpkin, but then walk with the basketball. Rob Bishop with the call. Good job by the Cardinals there, Chris, using the sideline and the baseline as an extra defender.
East Chicago scored in transition. Bishop Knoll pushes it right back at him. East Chicago got back nicely. That's the third turnover on Bishop Knoll.
Chrysler, along with Carter, exits the lineup. Jakubowski back in there along with Tarver for the Warriors. 6:51 remaining in the first half. East Chicago with a 4-0 run here has cut the Bishop Knoll lead now down to 5. Edwards now with a pass down low, and Blackman's got 6 points in the quarter as Edwards with another helper.
Well, nice 6-0 run here for East Chicago, attacking that 1-3-1 perfectly. Those diagonal passes are there. East Chicago taking advantage.
Tarver goes down low, and Ricky Reedus is going to get called for a reach over. That'll be his first personal. And that is team foul number 5 now on the Cardinals.
Let's see if East Chicago can tighten up their man-to-man defense here. Out of bounds underneath. Jakubowski was able to get free already tonight for an easy 2.
Good job, as you just mentioned, off the weak side. And now a 5-second violation on Gates. 6 turnover now on the Warriors. And just as you called it there, Chris, the Cardinals end up not only covering well, but forcing a turnover. So a nice run here by East Chicago Central, led by Jalen Blackman here in the second quarter. And they've cut that lead now from 9 down to 3, just like that. Edwards now out high with the basketball, guarded by the sophomore Roman Penn. He'll fire the NBA 3, and he rattled it home from 24 feet.
Well, sometimes doesn't matter how you guard Hiram Edwards. If he wants to get a shot off, he will. He felt it that time. That was deep.
So 9-0 run. Back comes Gates, and he ends up keeping the lead with the Warriors as he's able to nail a tray, his 23rd of the year. Back comes Kuznard the other way, and he tickles the twine from 22. Third tie of the ball game as we go back and forth. Penn now got a half a step on the defense, went up and under the freshman, no good, but Tarver the rebound, and he scores.
This is the action we thought we would see tonight, up and down right now. Great offensive action.
Tarver now leading all scorers with 11. We've had 3 ties in the game. No lead changes yet. Edwards now got caught up high, gets the return pass from Reedus, pops it in the corner, no good. Jefferson keeps it alive, couldn't get the bunny. Reedus comes back, and Ricky will go to the line to shoot 2 on some great persistence down low.
Does your vehicle need new tires? Then Levin Tire Center is a place to go right now. For a limited time, get a $50 instant rebate on any set of 4 Goodyear tires, or up to $160 back with a purchase of selected Goodyear and Dunlop models. Visit one of our 7 full-service locations in Lake and Porter County, where walk-ins are welcome and complimentary shuttle service and Wi-Fi are available. See the Times and Post-Tribune for valuable coupons, or visit www.levintirecenter.com for more information. Levin Tire Center, earning your trust one day at a time since 1918.
Anthony Diaz comes into the game to replace Lee Howard with those 2 fouls. Diaz is 6'4" junior, averaging 1.1 points per game. Reedus trying to break an 0-for-3 streak, can't get it done. And now East Chicago Central on the day, 1 of 6 from the line. Jakubowski pops the tray way off the mark. Saved by Diaz nicely, but recovered by Edwards. And Roman Penn's going to get hit with a foul. And that was probably a good one there, because they would have been off to the races down the other end.
Only Penn's first foul. So you're right, Mike. Good foul, only the team's 4th.
7 turnover on the Warriors on that inbounded pass. 24-22 lead for the guests on the scoreboard. 4:49 remaining in the half as Edwards got a half a step on the defense, but then a walk on the wild side on Kuznard in the corner. First turnover on the Cards here in the first half of the second quarter. So East Chicago again putting on full court pressure token-wise. Now Roman Penn will bring it up on Kuznard. Drives all the way into the lane, tries to go with a safety valve, no good. Kuznard quickly down to Edwards, who laid it up and in.
Yeah, he got up nice and high, laid the ball easily over the back basket.
Well, that was a great athletic move there, Chris, at full speed, and now Chrysler's going to get a hand check by Hiron up high.
Well, Hiram made it look easy to catch the ball in full stride and find the basket without dribbling. But now he picks up his second foul. That's 2 on Hiram Edwards and 2 on Jeremiah Ochoa.
Very brief appearance there for Anthony Diaz. We got a scoreboard update coming in that we'll tell you about here in a second. 4:24 remaining is now into the ball game once again. Will be the freshman Jamar Adams. Missed by the Warriors off the inbounds. Jamian Jefferson now back the other way. Drives the right side. Tough shot, no good. Attempt offensively to keep it alive off the far side by Blackman. And now Edwards is going to take a seat with those 2 fouls.
Already the 8th offensive rebound for East Chicago in this ball game. Now a couple possessions, they had 3 of them right in a row on tapbacks.
Jamar Adams, Rita's trying to post up down low on Chrysler. Halfway through the second quarter, and we've got a tie ball game. 4th tie of the evening at 24. Now things slow down here a little bit. The Bishop Knoll Warriors still have 2 fouls to get before they send East Chicago to the line. Blackman now right side free throw line extended. Kuznard flash pass inside to Ritas. Up and under, and he got clobbered. And Ricky will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Attorney Lonnie Randolph supports his community by sponsoring a portion of East Chicago Central Cardinals basketball on regional radio sports and RRSN.com. Attorney Randolph specializes in trial, criminal, civil, personal injury, and property issues. His law office is located at 1919 East Columbus Drive in East Chicago. For more information and to schedule an appointment, Attorney Randolph can be reached at 219-397-5531.
Ritas finally gets on the board from the free throw line after 4 straight misses. He'll get 1 more, and we have our first lead change tonight, and it goes to the Cardinals. So 1 more for R squared. Bounces the ball twice, eyes, flies, and got them both. His first 2 points tonight. And East Chicago Central now their first 2-point lead since a 2-0 lead to start the game. Tarver from the twilight zone took the paint off the rim. What a great rebound by Chrysler.
Well, athletic play. Chrysler running the floor nicely in transition. Able to gain control while he was in the air and lay it in.
Now a pass between the 2 guards stolen by Chrysler, and I think they got a foul called here, I believe, on Jefferson, as Chrysler went flying into the East Chicago Central bench. And what a great effort by the young man.
Yeah, that's just a tremendous effort. Great hustle by Larry Chrysler. No concern for his body whatsoever.
Can see where the Hoosiers definitely wanted that young man on the diamond for their baseball program. Financial support of the Cardinals basketball broadcast is provided in part by the Foundations of East Chicago. They are dedicated to enriching the members and improving the quality of life for all East Chicago residents. We do this through our scholarship programs, through financial support of local institutions like food pantries and churches, and by providing leadership and advice to make our community the best that it can be. The Foundations of East Chicago, making a difference today and in the future. Visit their website at www.foundationsec.org. Long 3-pointer by Kuznard, no good. Rebound to Ritas, and he got called for a travel down low.
Well, another offensive rebound. Ricky Ritas all over the boards on that side of things. Thought he got tied up. He went up with it. A defender got his hand on the ball. Ritas came back down with it for the travel.
3:12 remaining in the half, and now a timeout's going to be have to take by Gates. With 3:12 remaining here in the first half, it's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. In Maryville, your wait is finally over. Berman's Infinity in Maryville is now open. All-new dealership with an all-new lineup. Stop in and see General Manager Jay Chang. Ask Jay how you can get into new or a pre-driven vehicle. Come into Berman's Infinity in Maryville and think real value. All-new dealership, all-new lineup. Don't miss it. Berman's Infinity in Maryville. Visit InfinityNWI.com for all specials. And this spot is sponsored by Schwartz, Retson & Company, a certified public accounting firm serving both businesses and individuals in Northwest Indiana for over the past 80 years. Located in Maryville, Schwartz Retson has a staff of over 30 professionals, making it the largest CPA firm in Northwest Indiana. Schwartz Retson specializes in audits, reviews and compilations, tax planning and preparation, accounting services, business and personal financial planning, business valuations, and other requested engagements. Thank Thanks for considering the professionals at Schwartz-Retson for your tax accounting and assurance needs. Miss off the right side on the play by Gates. Went out of bounds off the Cardinals, and the Warriors retained possession. Just over 3 minutes remaining here in a very entertaining first half. Great spirited crowd on hand here at the Barado Center. Chrysler now in the twilight zone, gets through the defense, and I think he got fouled down low by Reedus. We'll see what the call is, and it is on number 24.
That's a couple strong guys going after it and banging into each other right there. Check out the great deals taking place during the auto show now at Scapel Buick GMC in Maryville. Find out why they're named the Dealer of the Year in 2010, 2011, and 2012 with savings on several 2014 models. Among the vehicles on display are the Buick Enclave, Verano, Regal, and Encore, along with several GMC models. Experience the Buick difference at Scapel Buick GMC, located at 3209 West Lincoln Highway, just 1 mile west of I-65. For more information, call 219-769-6381 or go online at www.scapelbuickgmc.com.
Now Gates got fouled on the play by Smith. 6 turnover on the Cardinals as Joakim had it taken away. And that dangerous cross-court pass again came to the forefront and bit the Cardinals. So once again, another turnover. 3 in each quarter now for the home team. And to the line will be Ty Gates for his first free throw attempt here this evening, and it's nothing but the bottom of the net. He's got 10 to join Tarver now in double-digit scoring. And the Warriors, who were down by 2 just a few seconds ago, now back up by 5. One more for Ty. That one went in and out, and the ball went off of Tarver over the back of Blackman. It'll be EC basketball.
Well, a lot of Bishop Knoll settling down had to do with Larry Chrysler coming back in the ballgame after that rest.
Yeah, he is definitely a steadying influence out there, and boy, what upper body strength the young man has. 31-26 Warriors, 2:39 remaining in the first half. Jefferson now pops it from the right elbow, no good. Weak side rebound knocked away nicely by Gates, as it looked like Kuznard was going to get a bunny on the weak side rebound. So Jermaine Kuznard, the freshman, will enter the ball back to Jefferson with 2:30 remaining here in the first half. Damian with the bright orange socks and shoes. Now we'll dribble it out high as Carter extends the defense. Adams goes in the corner. Blackman with a jump shot, a pretty one for about 12 feet. Nothing but the bottom of the net, and that puts the net up top the rim.
Well, Blackman now has 10 points, 8 in this quarter. They're badly needed because E Chicago, without their starting backcourt, both with 2 fouls on the bench most of this quarter.
Silly reach and foul way far from the basket. Young mistake that time by number 20, Jamar Adams. And that will send the Warriors the rest of the way down the court for 1 and the bonus. And now they're in the double bonus as well. This Cardinals basketball broadcast is brought to you in part by the Foundations of East Chicago, an organization dedicated to supporting our community on and off the court. Through our academic scholarship programs, our grant programs for local charitable institutions, and our leadership, the Foundations of East Chicago is dedicated to helping our community be the best that it can be. For more information, visit our website at www.foundationsec.org. Is Chrysler now in this quarter, 6 for 6 from the line. He's got 10. Warriors' biggest lead was 9, and now a palming violation going to be called on Adams. And the youth of the Cardinals off the bench now starting to come to the forefront. Bishop Knoll's biggest lead was 9, but then East Chicago went on a 9-0 run to tie it up, but the Warriors have had the answer, Chris.
A lot of that has to do with the backcourt for East Chicago on the bench right now. Really, Larry Chrysler taking over in this quarter for the Knoll Warriors.
And speaking of which, he just catches it, turns around, and shoots the ball right in. And what a quarter he's had now with 10 in the stanza. Bishop Knoll could have had a potential steal on that cross-court pass, but Carter gets called for a little nudge with the body.
You see Jamar Adams turning his back a little bit to the pressure from Bishop Knoll. Once you do that, the defense has you where they want you.
Tell you what, this is going to be valuable experience for East Chicago as far as the sectional coming up. Getting an opportunity to play a team coming in at 16-2 and rated number 3 in their class.
If you're Bishop Knoll right now, you need to find where Jermaine Kuznard is on the floor.
Smith with a turnaround jump shot, no good, and the rebound dropped down by Gates. On the end, double deuce now with 1:14 remaining in the half. Chrysler sizzles his pass right through the wickets of Jalen Horde, and that'll be the 5th miscue on B&I. And Josh Belwanenme telling his guys, slow it down a little bit here. We got the lead and the basketball. 1 minute remaining here in the first half of play. It's been a seesaw battle with Bishop Knoll in lead most of the time. We have had a couple of lead changes. And now East Chicago Central taking the air out of the pumpkin here a little bit with 50 seconds remaining in the stanza.
Yeah, East Chicago went up 25-24 since Bishop Knoll on an 11-3 run.
And Bishop Knoll has also done it from the free throw line this quarter, 7 of 8. They're now 9 of 12 in the ball game so far. East Chicago struggled. They were 1 for 4 in the quarter, now 2 for 4, 3 for 8 in the game.
Chrysler at 74% for the Warriors, 6 for 6 from the charity stripe this quarter.
15 seconds remaining in the stanza, 35-28 B&I. And now A. Brown calls out the play with 10 seconds remaining. Adams with the basketball, right side to Blackman. Here's Jefferson from 17, no good. 3 seconds remaining. Carter with the long pass down to Tarver, but he can't get it away. And the sands of the hourglass run out here on the Warriors and the Cardinals, and the first half concludes. We have played 16 minutes of action here in this non-conference matchup. Bishop Knoll with a 19-10 lead at the end of the first quarter of play, and they were outscored there in the second stanza 18-16. So they did cut into that 9-point deficit, but they still trail Bishop Knoll at the half by a score of 35-28. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. We'll come back with our halftime stats and much more. You're watching and listening to the Northwest Indiana Boys Basketball Game of the Week on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports.
State Farm Insurance asks, if you're stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life, then let State Farm help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too, because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Discounts may vary state to state. In Griffith, Ron Pierce at 821 West 45th Street. Phone Ron at 924-3311. In Griffith, John Burris, 437 North Broad. Phone John at 934-9631. And in Michigan City, Andrew Mitchell at 519 Franklin. Phone Andrew at 879-2329. Get to a better state with State Farm.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Looking to start a new career at a cutting-edge, exciting, and globally competitive company? Enroll in Steelworker for the Future, a 2.5-year associate degree program offered at select community colleges, and you'll be prepared for a high-paying career at ArcelorMittal, the world's leading steel company. Graduates may be hired as maintenance technicians, earning an average of $90,000 per year, plus benefits. Your future with the leader in steel starts now. Visit steelworkerforthefuture.com today.
Hi again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings. So I can spend a little and still save. Visit TCUnet.com to start owning your financial future. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Centier Bank has been named a 2013 top 3 best place to work in Indiana by the Indiana Chamber of Commerce, and they couldn't have done it without the trust, loyalty, and friendship of you, their valued customers. In return, they work hard to give you solid financial answers and outstanding customer service. Together with the community, they create one great place to work and bank. Centier Bank, member FDIC.
Back with you here at the Barato Center, Mike Knezovich along with Chris Adzia. Ryan Knezovich doing a great job on the camera as well this evening. 35-28. The visitors on the scoreboard, the Bishop Knoll Warriors with the lead in the ball game as they continue to try to go for win number 10 in a row on the campaign. As we mentioned, a 19-10 lead at the end of the first quarter, and East Chicago able to carve into that lead a little bit, but really a situation, Chris, where East Chicago had all the momentum with a 9-0 run to start the quarter. They just couldn't sustain it.
Jeremiah Ochoa picked up his second foul. Hiram Edwards, his running mate in the backcourt, quickly joined him on the bench with his second foul as well. Also with 2 fouls for East Chicago, Ricky Reedus and Joakim Smith, but the foul trouble was a problem for the backcourt there in East Chicago, and when those 2 guys went to the bench, East Chicago fell down a little bit. Bishop Knoll was able to take control. They played a lot of players, did Bishop Knoll, but really only 3 of them scoring right now. 3 players, or 3 amigos in double digits. Larry Chrysler with 12, Marquise Tarver with 11, and Ty Gates with 10.
Our halftime report is brought to us by Calumet College of St. Joseph, your university of choice and the region home for Crimson Wave Athletics. Men's and women's basketball, wrestling, track and field, and CCSJ's nationally ranked bowling teams will be in full action during the winter season. Follow all Crimson Wave teams year-round by going to www.crimsonwaveathletics.com. 35-28 lead. Let's take a look at the rest of the scoring for the Warriors, Chris.
Well, we look at it this way, as we just talked about. Larry Chrysler, 12 points tonight in the first half. Marquise Tarver, 11. Ty Gates had 10 points. The only other player to score for Coach Belwanamy was Michael Jakubowski. He had 2 points. Bishop Knoll overall was 9 of 12 from the free throw line, 2 of 4 from the three-point stripe. A very effective 2 of 4 and efficient from the three-point stripe. And Bishop Knoll ended the first half with 8 turnovers.
Right now they're honoring some of the court here on senior night tonight here at the Barato Center. Last time we were here, they honored the regional champion football team. Saw Stacy Adams over here earlier. He's still up there to our immediate right above one of the scoreboards up here. And we'll flip it over on the other side, and we'll take a look at the scoring for the Chicago Central Cardinals, which is brought to us by our corporate sponsor, the Foundations of East Chicago. Want to thank them for their terrific support throughout the year here on RRSN.com. And, Chris, let's take a look at the scoring for the Cards.
Well, Abe Brown played 9 players, just like Bishop Knoll, 5 of them in the scoring column. East Chicago only had 1 player in double digits. That was Jalen Blackman. The 6'4 senior had 10 points, 8 of those coming in the second quarter. 8 points from Hiram Edwards in the first half, 5 points from Damian Jefferson, 3 points from Jermaine Kuznard on 1-of-1 shooting from behind the arc, and 2 points for Ricky Reedus on 2 of 5 from the free throw line. 2 of 6 from the free throw line. Overall, as a team, East Chicago only 3 of 8 from the free throw line, 3 of 7 from behind the arc. All right, East Chicago for 7 first half turnovers to go along with an impressive 9 offensive rebounds.
Today's broadcast of Cardinals basketball is brought to you by the Foundations of East Chicago, an organization dedicated to supporting our community on and off the court through our academic scholarship programs, our grant programs for local charitable institutions, and our leadership. The Foundations of East Chicago is dedicated to helping to make our community be the best that it can be. For more information, please visit our website at www.foundationsec.org. And Chris, a game that you knew the game was going to have a lot of twists and turns and momentum changes, but I was very impressed with Bishop Knoll because they ran but they did it in a controlled fashion. They didn't really fall into that trap like a lot of teams do against East Chicago, where they end up playing too quickly.
Well, I think when you play a team like East Chicago year in and year out, you have to come with the frame of mind that you're going to be very balanced mentally. And what I mean by that is East Chicago is going to have their runs, but they're also going to have their lulls and let you back in and get on a run yourself. We talked about it in that first half. I've been really impressed with Bishop Knoll in terms of their maturity on the court. They handled themselves very calmly. We knew they were going to be very athletic, but I'm very impressed with their strength and maturity mentally as well.
Also played a lot of players in the first half, so they went very deep into the bench. And in talking with Josh prior to the ball game, Chris, the one thing that I'm sure, and a lot of the other Warrior fans, I was talking to Paul Mulaney as well, they don't have those Eagles from Bowman Academy soaring above them in 2A anymore.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Bowman moved up to 3A, and you look at a possible postseason run for Bishop Knoll. I really like their chances to make a deep run. It's a 2A class that's loaded in the top 15 with teams from the South. So you look around the northern area in the 2A poll, and you really have to like Bishop Knoll's chances, and especially after seeing them here live for the first time all year.
I didn't really check. I just kind of glanced over the ratings there, Chris, and I don't know if I don't think the Tipton Blue Devils are in there anymore as well, one of the old nemesis that Bishop Knoll used to match up with in the semi-state.
Yeah, I think Tipton is having a decent year record-wise. They only have about 4 or 5 losses, and they come in toward the end of that of the ratings in 2A, but certainly not the Tipton of a few years ago that Bishop Knoll saw and had to beat.
Very familiar team with Park Tudor at the top right now. They're taking on Indianapolis Chittard tonight. Clarksville, another team from down south. So those are the two teams that are ahead of the Warriors right now. But you look down the list here, Chris, and not a lot of teams that normally are powerhouses in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, you hear a couple of these teams. Some of you might be hearing them for the first time. Wapahani at 17-1, number 4. Frankton, number 5 at 16-2. Cloverdale, number 6 at 16-1. Crawford County, number 8. So it's not necessarily the who's who of 2A basketball year in and year out.
Yeah, I think that Josh Belwanami has got a real shot here in the postseason, Chris. If they play basketball like they're doing, and of course in the postseason, that X factor, you got to stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah, and we've seen the depth already tonight. They've gone 9 deep, but I don't want to become redundant, but I am just so impressed seeing Bishop Knoll for the first time with their maturity and their strength. We knew they were going to be quick, and they had the athletes to keep up with East Chicago in terms of quickness and speed. But strength and maturity really set them apart right now.
American Legion Post number 369, located at 1401 West Chicago Avenue in East Chicago, is the place to be for bingo on Sunday afternoons. Doors opening at 3 p.m. and on Wednesdays, doors opening at 4 p.m. You can also give them a call at 219-398-1802, extension 23, for more information regarding hall rental of their spacious facility. Building manager Marty Ziglowitz, Commander Noreen Komasinski, and the rest of the Allied American Legion Post number 369 membership wish the East Chicago Central Cardinals best of luck in today's game. They also remind all the veterans out there to join us by going to our website at HoosierLegionnaire.org. And Chris, what are you looking for as far as some keys for East Chicago Central to get back into this game trailing by 7.5?
Well, I don't think East Chicago really needs to make any big adjustments at this point. They need to get their backcourt back in the court and play without fouling, number one. Hiron Edwards is going to come in. He had 8 points. Didn't get a lot of shots that first half, had 6 shot attempts. He's going to come in itching to shoot the ball a little bit, but certainly Jeremiah Cho and Hiron Edwards going to bring some energy that they've been saving on the bench here for most of that second quarter.
Bishop Knoll just has the 2 fouls on Lee Howard off the bench. Everybody else just with 1 personal foul. 2 fouls apiece for Edwards and Ochoa, as Chris talked about, along with 2 for Reedus and 2 for Joakim Smith. So I tell you what, if I'm Bishop Knoll, I'm really taking a look at that backcourt, Chris, and try to get one of those gentlemen with 3 fouls right off the get-go.
Yeah, take it right to him. Bishop Knoll's done a nice job penetrating tonight, getting to the basket. And, in theory, although Edwards and Ochoa are two very, very good defenders, they move their feet well. If you could try to take them to the basket, get a cheap one on one of them here early.
This Cardinals basketball broadcast is brought to you in part by the Foundations of East Chicago. They're an organization dedicated to supporting our community on and off the court. Through our academic scholarship programs, our grant programs for local charitable institutions, and our leadership, the Foundations of East Chicago is dedicated to helping to make our community be the best that it can be. For more information, please visit our website at www.foundationsec.org. Chris, do we get any other scoreboard updates from some of the other sites? We're still waiting.
Haven't gotten any to come in at this point.
Well, we'll try to see if we can get something from that ball game between Lake Central and Crown Point. I would think that that ball game would be heading pretty close to the fourth quarter in that ball game over there in the Hub City. So we'll find out if we can get an update from Dave Miller along with Frank Keel over there, and also Steve Dahl and Matt Workman over at the Wolves Den. Teams back out on the court now for their second half warm-ups. We'll go ahead and take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll come back with the second half of action. So far, Bishop Knoll doing a great job holding serve here at the Barado Center. Very tough place to play. East Chicago coming in at 5-1 on the season here at home, but they trail here at the half by 7, 35-28 against the Bishop Knoll Warriors on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports.
State Farm Insurance asks, if you're stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life, then let State Farm help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too, because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Discounts may vary state to state. In Griffith, Ron Pierce at 821 West 45th Street. Phone Ron at 924-3311. In Griffith, John Burris, 437 North Broad. Phone John at 934-9631. And in Michigan City, Andrew Mitchell at 519 Franklin. Phone Andrew at 879-2329. Get to a better state with State Farm.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings, so I can spend a little and still save. Visit TCUnet.com to start owning your financial future. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Little line dancing going on behind us here in the balcony at the Barado Center. Fans having a good time here at halftime, 35-28 in favor of Bishop Knoll. Chris, you got a couple scoreboard updates for us.
Yeah, we got one halftime score, Maryville 26, Michigan City 24 at the half, so that's a little bit surprising. Coach TJ Lux has his boys ready to play tonight on the road at Michigan City. And it was Lake Central completing an undefeated Duneland Athletic Conference season at 7-0. They were all over the Bulldogs in Crown Point tonight, 77-43. That's a final.
Ouch. 34-point win there, Chris. And I know the Bulldogs are a little bit short-handed last weekend with Barclay and Berquist both going down with injuries, but thought that one would be a little bit closer. So the teams right now going to their halftime huddle here to get set for the second half of action. And I would anticipate that both teams here would come out with their starting lineups to start the second half. And I would think, Chris, with the Warriors up by 7, we may see them back in that 2-3.
Yeah, they played the 2-3 most of the game. They came out of that early in the second quarter, went to a 1-3-1. East Chicago attacked it nicely, went on a 6-0 run. Bishop Knoll got right back out of that 1-3-1, went right back to the 2-3, and then things settled down for them a little bit.
So back on the court will be Edwards and Ochoa, the dynamic duo. They'll be joined by Blackman, Reedus, and Jefferson in the lineup for the Cards. Bishop Knoll Connors with their starting five is Jack Obowski's back in along with Chrysler down low, Tarver, Penn, as well as Gates up top for B&I.
And Bishop Knoll in the first possession starts man-to-man here in the second half.
Reedus with a pass denied nicely by Chrysler, but Blackman's able to corral the pumpkin. Now Edwards comes off a screen as Penn goes flying at the left elbow. Nice feed down to Reedus for the layup.
Great look by Edwards off the dribble.
I got him for 3 assists so far, Chris. He came in averaging 3 helpers a game, and that's 58 now on the season. Now Gates goes alley-oop weak side and threw it right over the head of Chrysler. I'm not even sure if Will Chamberlain would have got that one.
If it was a better pass, might have picked up that third foul on Ochoa as he bodied him a little bit as he went up for that pass. Uncatchable.
And now the Warriors are going to go now. It looks like a box and one as Gates is chasing Jefferson while the other 4 are playing a zone, Chris.
Now I think it's back to a true 2-3 zone.
So the Cards put down by 5 with the ball. They go weak side on the play and a nice layup by Jefferson as Edwards picks up his 4th assist tonight.
Well, double pick set on Gates that time. Great execution.
Fade away by Gates is missed. Jefferson gets the rebound. Jakubowski got the steal on the play. Tarver over to Chrysler, up and under, and got fouled by Jefferson. And he will go to the line and a costly turnover there on the Cards.
After 107 years in business, Albert's Diamond Jewelers is the oldest and most respected jewelry store in Northwest Indiana. Their reputation is worth its weight in gold. They have also been voted the #1 jewelry store in the Best of the Region contest 16 years in a row. Trust their family to buy your unwanted jewelry, gold, silver coins, diamonds, and watches at the very best prices. That's Albert's Diamond Jewelers, located at 7 and 11 Main Street in Cherryville and in the South Lake Mall in Maryville.
The Chrysler likes shooting stuffed animals at the carnival tonight. And just as I say that, the broadcaster's jinx kicks in. Edwards now comes back the other way, but forgot the basketball. Tarver off the outside, feed by Roman. Penn. And Bishop Knoll able to corral the basketball after that miss. Chrysler's jumper's no good. Tip by Tarver won't go. And Reedus the rebound for the Cards. Cards trail by 4 with the pumpkin. Ochoa, and a bump is going to be called on Penn in the lane. That'll be his 2nd personal.
Well, nice crossover move. The #2 move by Ochoa that time got to the middle of the floor.
Both teams now with a team foul. 6:11 remaining in the third quarter. 36-32. Bishop Knoll with the lead over East Chicago Central. Now steal by Chrysler. Chrysler takes it up strong and scores. 15 in the game now for the senior. So you mentioned is headed down to Bloomington to play baseball for Indiana University. Reedus now in the lane picks up the garbage, couldn't get it to go. And the rebound down to Howard. Quickly to Tarver. He'll pop a wide open tray, no good. Rebound to Howard off the weak side. And I think a push is going to be called here on East Chicago Central. I believe, no, actually Raleigh's got the call on the Warriors, and it'll be on Howard, his 3rd.
Well, very sloppy here in the early going of the second quarter. East Chicago had 2 nice assists by Hiram Edwards. Other than that, very hectic and chaotic on the offensive end and the defensive end for the Cardinals.
Edwards pops it over the defense, left it short. Tarver the rebound for the Warriors. Chrysler now brings it up. Crossover dribble drive past Jefferson. Shot up, no good, left it short. Blackman the rebound for the Cards. They still trail by a half a dozen. 5:18 remaining in the third quarter. Jefferson pops it 2 just inside the arc. Got his own rebound, but then stepped on the baseline. Is that a turnover since he caught the ball?
If he caught possession, he did have possession.
Yeah.
I think you got to give him a turnover. If so, I have East Chicago now for 11 on the game.
4 in the quarter, 7 in the first half. We actually agree on that
4
stat.
turnovers in the first less than 3 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Very sloppy right now.
Jacinto Carter, 5'9", and a senior, back in the lineup for Coach Josh. And also Horde, check that, Ryan Neal getting set to come in for the first time tonight. Left side, Blackman likes it from there, no good. Tip weak side up, no good by Jefferson. And the rebound down to Jacinto Carter. And now the Warriors will go ahead and take a timeout here with 4:58 remaining in the third quarter. And they still lead the game by 6, Chris.
If you're in the market for a new or used car, then now is the time to visit Christensen Chevy in Highland. During our President's Day sale, get the red carpet treatment and receive $1,500 cash bonus on your purchase. Check out several new 2014 Chevy models, as well as our huge indoor used car showroom with nearly 100 vehicles in stock. Our goal is 100% credit approval with all applications accepted. Driving the American dream proudly since 1951, Christensen Chevy is located at 9700 Indianapolis Boulevard. The phone number is 888-999-9141, and the website is www.christensenchevy.com.
Josh Belwamini, very animated in the huddle there at the timeout. I just don't think he is seeing the quality of basketball that the Warriors demonstrated in the first half here in the third quarter. So the Warriors bring it up now with Ty Gates. 4:51 remaining in the third quarter. They're up by 6. They go in the corner. Nice overplay there by Jefferson on the pass intended for Tarver in front of the Warriors bench. So they'll get a new offensive set here. 2 team fouls so far on Bishop Knoll here in the half, 1 on the Cardinals. Gates again having some trouble, and they're going to have to burn another timeout here with 4:45 remaining in the quarter. And once again, East Chicago Central trailing by 6 points in this basketball game. And this spot is sponsored by Schwartz, Redson & Company, a certified public accounting firm serving both businesses and individuals in Northwest Indiana for the last 80 years. Schwartz, Redson prides itself on being able to provide high-quality tax, accounting, and assurance services to Northwest Indiana at reasonable rates. Schwartz, Redson has helped clients through various changing economies and business environments over recent years. They strive to provide outstanding customer service to all of their clients. Thanks for considering the professionals at Schwartz, Redson for your tax, accounting, and assurance needs, Chris.
Attorney Lonnie Randolph supports his community by sponsoring a portion of East Chicago Central Cardinals basketball on regional radio sports and RRSN.com. Attorney Randolph specializes in trial, criminal, civil, personal injury, and property issues. His law office is located at 1919 East Columbus Drive in East Chicago. For more information and to schedule an appointment, Attorney Randolph can be reached at 219-397-5531.
So teams back on the court after Bishop Knoll was not able to get that ball in, Chris, and we'll take a look at that situation if they need a TO later on down the road.
Yeah, that leaves Coach Belwanami with only 2 full timeouts remaining. Tough spot to get it in from there as they get it right in front of their bench.
4:38 remaining in the stanza. Bishop Knoll up by 6, 38-32. Now Ryan Neal with the basketball in his first action tonight. Over to Ty Gates is Jeremiah Ochoa now trying to turn up the defensive heat in the kitchen. Pass to left elbow. Rejected by Ochoa, but I think they might have got Reedus down low. They call an offensive foul.
Offensive foul. That'll be number 1 on Gates, but he was trying to attack Jeremiah Ochoa, as you brought up, and he did a good job. It did Ochoa moving his feet and got great help, even more importantly.
Yeah, Reedus did a great job there as they went ISO that time, trying to get the third foul. Instead, they end up picking up turnover number 11, and that ties the Cardinals in that category. So the Cards hanging around here, now trailing by half a dozen halfway through the third quarter. Edwards right side free throw line extended. Bad pass stolen by Jacinto. Carter took it up on Ochoa. Blocked by Jeremiah. Once again, a terrific block by Ochoa and recovered by Edwards. Hiron the other way. Put it up. No good. Rebound. Basket up and good by Jefferson. He's got 9.
We'll give him 9 again all over the offensive boards tonight is Damian Jefferson, keeping the ball alive time and time again.
Mike Mendoza comes up with the call here. And it will be on Jefferson. That's his third now. And the second on the team. First appearance tonight for Nick Nelson, a big 6'6 senior center, averaging 1.9 again, but more importantly, 22 offensive rebounds for BNI. 38-34 Warriors, 3:43 remaining. Again, Gates having trouble, got it to Chrysler. Boy, Ochoa's really turned up the defensive intensity here in the second half. Backdoor pass almost stolen on the play as Gates is able to corral it. He'll pop the tray, no good. Rebound to Edwards for the Cardinals, and a foul going to be called on the Warriors.
Well, E Chicago doing a very nice job defensively now. Bishop Knoll has basically become a one-on-one team the last several possessions and most of this third quarter.
That's the third foul now on Roman Penn, the 5'10 sophomore. And now the Warriors kind of flip-flopping the foul trouble here after the first half when they did a great job of staying off the fingers in the cookie jar stat. 38-34 lead for the Warriors. Bishop Knoll with only 3 points here in the quarter. Jump shot from 15 is up and no good by Edwards. That did everything but go in. And now Jefferson's going to get hit with his fourth foul now with 3:08 remaining in the third quarter.
Just a silly foul, a reach-in foul. Abe Brown showed a little bit of confidence in Damian Jefferson, keeping him in there, and then picks up a foul on the offensive end, ill-advised.
So Traquan Burnett will jump off the Pines and replace Jefferson. And you get that offensive prowess there with 9 points. Kuznar now is also going to come in the ball game, replacing Blackman. So EC going small right now.
You get Jefferson to come to the bench. You lose offensive thunder in a little bit of pop on the offensive end with that. Jermaine Kuznar, only a freshman, but is capable of shooting that three. So you get a threat back on the floor to replace Jefferson.
Jacinto Carter now quarterbacks the offense for Bishop Knoll over to Ty Gates. 38-34 lead for the blue and gold. And now Double Deuce will spread it out now and try to get past Ochoa, and they're going to call a 5-second violation. Rowley Theo on the call, and it was a good one. He was not advancing towards the basket.
So once again, you see Ochoa setting the tempo defensively for Abe Brown and the Cardinals.
Lee Howard back in the lineup to replace Ty Gates, who get a well-deserved breather now. So right now, East Chicago Central with a 6-3 lead in this quarter. It's been a very low-scoring third quarter here tonight. Edwards now at the left elbow, down to Kuznard, and the freshman threw it away as Chrysler got raked across the face on the play. And the foul will be on Reedus.
It's his third now as well. Foul's really starting to pile up on several players.
Jakubowski back in now to replace Nelson for the Warriors, and Blackman comes in replacing Reedus, who just picked up his third. 38-34 Bishop Knoll, 2:38 remaining in the third quarter as Tarver gets the inbounds pass from Chrysler. They left him wide open from 16 and he nailed it. He's got 13.
Well, great body control, great patience that time with the ball in his hands by Tarver.
That brings the lead back out to 6 for Bishop Knoll. Trying to cut it in half as Hiron couldn't get it to go. And the rebound down to Carter, who rips it out of there. Good senior leadership off the bench for Jacinto Carter. Jakubowski now right side free throw line extended, another senior. Down to Chrysler, flash pass to Tarver, deflected out of bounds. Turnover number 5 in the quarter for the visitors.
Just a little too hot to handle that time, and I think Larry Chrysler thought he was throwing it home from center field.
Yeah, looked like he was hitting the cutoff man there in the lane. 2 minutes remaining in the quarter as Nehemiah Daniels gets set to come back in for A. Brown. Jeremiah Ochoa now in the twilight zone, right at the volleyball line with $1:45 remaining in the quarter. Cards trail by 6, trying to cut it to 4 was Burnett, way short. And let's see if they call a jump ball alternate possession or a reach-in foul here.
It's like a foul on somebody. Yeah, on Jakubowski from Bishop Knoll. His second. It's a good shot that East Chicago got from Burnett, but he was so open, you almost like to see him put the ball on the floor aggressively one time and go get a layup, attack the basket when you get it in the lane.
He's been taking a few more threes than normal. He's picked up 3 in the last couple ball games. Trying to extend that bench a little bit for A. Brown. $1:40 remaining in the quarter, half a dozen point deficit facing the Cardinals. They trailed at the half by 7. Nehemiah Daniels now between the rings. 90 seconds remaining in the stanza. Right side free throw line extended to Ochoa. Spinorama move, and he threw it into the backcourt. Stolen by Carter, who took it up on Daniels, but then walked with the basketball. So both teams playing high potato right now with the Pumpkin.
Traded turnovers that time. I think Jeremiah Ochoa was throwing the ball to Rob Bishop. The official caught him out of the corner of his eye. Thought it was a teammate. Once again, Jeremiah Ochoa and Hiron Edwards will join A. Brown on the bench. to finish this quarter possibly.
Well, I think Abe right now is just trying to buy some time here and then go for the final 8. Daniels now at the left elbow over to Jamar Adams into the game with 1 minute. 1 minute remaining now in the quarter. Now Blackman on the baseline tries to beat the double team. Stolen by Chrysler. Larry behind the back pass, and then he threw it away, and a reach-in foul called on Bishop Nolan. Things starting to get a little bit sloppy out here at the Barado Center.
Yeah, 2 possessions in a row now where teams trade turnovers. Both teams in double digits in that category.
Chrysler gets called for his first personal. 16 foul on Bishop Noel. East Chicago Central with only 4 team fouls. 1 minute remaining now here in the third quarter. East Chicago Central trailing by 6 with the ball. Daniels right side. Now they go on the baseline to Blackman. Back out to Nehemiah. Jump shot by the freshman Adams, and he scored. Jamar Adams with a big 2 points off the bench.
Adams, as he's fallen down to the ground, that's a huge basket. Keeps East Chicago within striking distance.
Carter now off to Chrysler with 30 seconds remaining. Larry got a half a step on Burnett, and a nice little fadeaway in the corner for the deuce.
Well, Chrysler rushed that a little bit and forced it. Very fortunate to get that basket for the Warriors.
He leads all scorers now with 17. 15 seconds remaining in the quarter. East Chicago Central with the basketball as they try to get it down the stretch here, and now Adams gets fouled, but they're going to call for a travel beforehand. And East Chicago Central with as many turnovers here in the third quarter as they had in the entire first half. Cardinals not making it to the charity stripe here in the stanza with only an 8-point quarter. Stolen by the Warriors. Kuznar's shot goes way off the mark. And that will complete the third quarter of action here at the Barado Center. The score at the end of 24 minutes is Bishop Knoll 42 and East Chicago Central 36. We'll take a 60-second timeout, and we'll come back with the fourth quarter of play on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports.
Looking to start a new career at a cutting-edge, exciting, and globally competitive company? Enroll in Steelworker for the Future, a 2.5-year associate degree program offered at select community colleges, and you'll be prepared for a high-paying career at ArcelorMittal, the world's leading steel company. Graduates may be hired as maintenance technicians, earning an average of $90,000 per year, plus benefits. Your future with the leader in steel starts now. Visit steelworkerforthefuture.com today.
Hey again, it's me, Sarah. I just got a text from TCU that means my first paycheck got deposited. I can't wait to treat myself. Of course, Mom and Dad want me to save, and thanks to TCU Everyday Savings, I can. Every time I use my TCU Debit MasterCard, TCU rounds my purchase up to the next dollar and moves the change to my savings, so I can spend a little and still save. Visit TCUnet.com to start owning your financial future. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Mike Konezovich, Chris Adzia back with you as we start the fourth quarter of play. Don't worry, Chris. We'll think we'll get home before midnight.
Well, I'll tell you what, the excitement and the offensive action of the first half came to a screeching halt there in the third quarter. Only 15 points combined from both of these ball clubs. Warriors still up by 6.
Now Chrysler's going to get fouled on the drive by Ochoa on a reach-in. That'll be Jeremiah's third, so he joins Jefferson and Reedus now with more than 3 fouls. Jefferson with 4. And both teams now getting very close, butting up against that one in the bonus limit as a team. Tarver now off the screen, got a half a step on Kuznar, but the freshman comes up with the theft. They head the other way now to Hiron Edwards, the hoop not quite going down, but he does get the harm, and a chance for 2 free throws.
Nitco and Dish team up. Triple play Nitco. Dish services are now available in your own backyard, and your home team will love it. They'll enjoy fast broadband internet, voice communication with landline reliability, and Dish television with Hopper that allows you to skip through annoying TV commercials and watch your TV anytime, anywhere. Make the switch today and start saving big. Fast, reliable, local, Nitco. Connected, always. Call 219-996-2981 or visit www.nitco.com for more information.
Edwards now makes East Chicago 5 for 10 at 50% from the line tonight. And Hiron now with 10 points in the game, and the Bishop Knoll lead back down to 4. 7:27 remaining in regulation. Ty Gates with the ball up high, guarded by Blackman. Flash pass, Chrysler at the left elbow, left it short. Ochoa the rebound for the Cards. Quickly to Hiron. Edwards back out. He'll pop it from 15. Good. Tyron Edwards now starting to heat up, and we got a 2-point ball game.
Well, Tyron Edwards' time right now if you're East Chicago, but I thought that was set up by great defensive pressure on that shot by Traquan Burnett.
Bishop Knoll really starting to do a lot more dribbling on the play as the shot is up on a baby hook. No good by Horde. And the rebound to Blackman for the Cards. Hiron back the other way over to Ochoa. At the left elbow, Kuznard pops up a three that ends up being an air ball. And the ball attempted to be saved by Burnett behind the basket. And it went off the backboard. Ill-advised three that time by the freshman.
Yeah, he forced it just a little bit, got caught up with the emotion of the ball game, only down 2. That would have put East Chicago ahead. This crowd would have erupted.
Chrysler now in the backcourt, back over to Ty Gates. And the senior now, double deuce of bringing up. Bishop Knoll now has led for quite a while in the ball game. They led by 7 at the half, but the lead now has been cut down to 2. See who steps up now in crunch time for both of these ball clubs. Jakubowski now in the lane, cut off by Edwards. Chrysler left wide open, and he misses the three. Edwards the rebound for the home team. Back come the Cards the other way. Hiron took it in, but he took a walk on the wild side with a double dribble.
Turnover number 16 on East Chicago. Chrysler's shot right in front of us was right on target, just left it a little bit short. He got wide open with a nice little jab step to the baseline and came right back to spot up.
Jalen Horde out of the lineup, replaced by the sophomore Roman Penn. As now East Chicago again picking up Bishop Knoll man-to-man. 6 minutes remaining here in the ball game. 42-40 lead for Bishop Knoll. Gates brings it over the timeline, over to Tarver. Good job by Kuznard extending the defense at the timeline. East Chicago right now in man-to-man defense all over the place. Rugby scrum on the floor right now, recovered by Penn. Down to Tarver, up and under. Blackman couldn't get it to go. Nice job by Gates, but he ran out of real estate on the baseline, resulting in a turnover. And now it looks like Tarver, it may be either cramping up here or hit the back of his calf.
Yeah, he's holding his calf right now. We'll see. You never want to speculate, but holding that area where it might be a calf.
Hopefully it's just a cramp situation there for the young man.
Levin Tire Center is your one-stop shop for new tires in Northwest Indiana. For a limited time, get up to $160 back with the purchase of selected Goodyear and Dunlop models, or $50 instantly on any set of 4 Goodyear tires. Levin's has 7 full-service centers in Lake and Porter County, with all locations open Saturday, and the Highland store also open Sunday for your convenience. Check out the Times and the Post-Tribune for valuable savings, or visit www.levintirecenter.com for more information. Levin Tire Center, earning your trust one day at a time since 1918.
Calumet College of St. Joseph has the lowest tuition of any private college in Indiana. It offers traditional programs with flexible class schedules, accelerated programs to help adults earn their bachelor's degree in as little as 12 months, and master's programs specifically designed for working adults. Some classes are also offered at the University Center in Portage. Make CCSJ your university of choice. For more information, call 219-473-4215 or check out their website at www.ccsj.edu.
Find out why GMC vehicles are designed and engineered to exceed expectations during the auto show at Scapel Buick GMC in Maryville. Check out the next generation of professional-grade models like the 2015 Yukon available now and the 2015 Sierra 2500 coming soon, and the 2015 Canyon this fall. You can also get great deals on the 2014 GMC Terrain, Arcadia SLE, Yukon Denali, and Double Cab. Experience why Scapel was named the 2010, 2011, and 2012 Dealer of the Year at 3209 West Lincoln Highway, just 1 mile west of I-65. Call 219-769-6381 or visit them online at www.scaplebuickgmc.com for more information.
Well, as you saw, Marquise Tarver was able to come off underneath his own power, so we're glad to report it probably was just a cramp there. So East Chicago Central with a chance to tie it here with a deuce or take the lead with a home run ball from the outside. They trail 42-40, 5:26 remaining. Bishop Knoll is over the limit now, so the East Chicago will go to the line on any foul. Here's Jeremiah now at the right elbow. Out to Kuznard, back out to Traquan Burnett. Flash pass, dangerous one down low to Jeremiah, and he got fouled on the way up. And Ochoa will go to the line to shoot a couple free throws on the foul by Jakubowski. Now his third personal foul.
Destination success, destination fulfillment, destination Purdue Calumet. Purdue University Calumet in Hammond offers a thriving graduate program of 14 master's degree offerings, numerous certificates, research opportunities, and Purdue prestige, all at an affordable price. For details, visit online at purduecal.edu/grad school. On the road to success and fulfillment, make Purdue Calumet your destination.
Jeremiah will get one more. He's been kind of quiet out here tonight. Has not scored a basket and missed his only free throw so far, averaging 7 points a game. Trying to cut the lead down to one, and he does. His first point tonight. So 42-41, Bishop Knoll has had 5 points in the second half in 10 and 11 minutes of action. And now a reach-in foul going to be called on Burnett. And let's see if they call that on the floor. If they do, it'll be common foul out of bounds, but Chrysler, I think, sold it. So it's common foul, so he did not get the shooter's act of shooting on that foul.
Next foul will be a 1-and-1 for Bishop Knowles. That's the team's sixth foul on East Chicago.
Chrysler now picks up a Jakubowski string as they go pick and roll. Missed the shot badly. Nice job by Carter getting it back to Chrysler. He blew the bunny. Boy, the lid is on the basket right now to our immediate right for the Warriors. They've had 2 field goals and a free throw in the entire second half. And a lot of that credit goes to the defense for the Cardinals.
East Chicago hasn't led since they were up 25-24 in the second quarter.
Ochoa outside to Burnett. Now Edwards, they double him. They've been doubling him a lot tonight. Back over to Trey. Ball deflected in the backcourt by Penn. Good hustle by Roman, but he deflected it over the baseline. It will remain with the Cardinals, but the sophomore with some nice hustle out there.
Well, Ochoa was a little hesitant going after it, thought it was going to be a backcourt, but because Bishop Knoll deflected it, he could have gone to get it. As Damian Jefferson comes back in the ballgame with his 4 fouls.
4:25 remaining. We'll see if the Warriors go after the star forward for the Cardinals here. 42-41 in favor of Bishop Knoll. Hiron Edwards now cross-court pass to Damian. Quickly down low to Blackman, up and over Jakubowski for the basket. Blackman now with 12 in the game. He had 8 of those in the second quarter to leave Chrysler wide open for the deuce at the top of the key.
Well, Chicago claimed the victory or the lead. Bishop Knoll with a great answer by Chrysler.
4 lead changes in the game. Now Blackman walked with the basketball, didn't put it down before gliding down the baseline. And now Burnett will come back into the game, replacing Jalen. We are exactly halfway through the fourth quarter of play, and now they're going to bring Jefferson back out. I think Abe right now is playing offense for defense.
Yeah,
Chris.
With under 4 minutes left, if he gets a dead ball situation where they're going to be on defense, Damian Jefferson's coming out of the ball game.
44-43 Warriors. Good defense, and they're going to call a foul on Hiron in the backcourt. Hiron was looking for a push-off on the play by Penn, and he's not going to get it. And now a technical foul called on Edwards as well.
I was just going to say he's talking to the wrong guy because he's going to get a technical, and he certainly did get it.
So he's now got 4-2, Chris.
Picks up the foul on the blocking, using the body, then the technical will be his 4th foul, and that's just the emotions getting the best of you right there.
Got to keep your cool. So now Edwards with 4, and now we've got a 1 in the bonus situation here for Roman Penn.
82% free throw shooter, Mike.
And, of course, he misses it after that one. The broadcaster's jinx. So now you've got Jefferson with 4 and Edwards with 4 for the Cardinals. And now Chrysler misses the free throw on the technical. He'll get one more. Warriors now 10 of 16 from the line. They just have not been able to buy any points here in the second half, and he missed them both.
Well, East Chicago still has to contend with the foul trouble of Hiron Edwards and Damian Jefferson. And Ochoa's third, but they dodge a bullet on those missed free throws.
Maryville, your wait is finally over. Berman's Infinity of Maryville is now open. All new dealership, all new lineup. Stop in and see General Manager Jay Chang. Ask Jay how you can get into a new or pre-driven vehicle. Come into Berman's Infinity of Maryville and think real value. All new dealership, all new lineup. Don't miss it. Berman's Infinity of Maryville. Visit InfinityNWI.com for all specials, Chris.
Fife Funeral Home, located at 4201 Indianapolis Boulevard in East Chicago, has been family-owned and operated in Northwest Indiana since 1898. They offer cremation and burial services, and they also provide for funeral prearrangement and insurance needs. The phone number for Fife Funeral Home in East Chicago is 219-398-3210.
Tech Credit Union's Great Rate event is your chance to get a low 1.99% loan rate on cars, trucks, or motorcycles. This great rate is good on vehicles valued at just $5,000 or more, and you can borrow up to 60 months. New, used, or refinance, you'll save money with Tech's 1.99 annual percentage rate. For details, visit Tech Credit Union online at techcu.org. Contact any branch or call their lending specialist at 800-276-TECH. That's 800-276-8324. Tech Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender and is federally insured by the National Credit Union Administration. Offer may end without notice. Huge basket that time for Chrysler for the Warriors.
Chrysler now has 21. That puts the Warriors back up 3, approaching the 3:30 mark.
Bidding for our Center Bank Performer of the game is Larry. Now Burnett in the lane having some trouble, and he threw it over the head of Ricky Reedus. Turnover number 18 now on the Cardinals.
Interesting here, dead ball situation on the defensive end for East Chicago. Coach Brown puts Jefferson back in the ballgame with those 4 fouls.
3:23 remaining. One possession ball game at this point. 46-43 Warriors. They've got the basketball now with Penn. The sophomore over to Jacinto Carter. Got a half a step on Kuznar. Good weak side defense by Ochoa. He creates the turnover. Jefferson goes by Jakubowski, who picks up his 4th foul, and the Cardinals will go to the line to shoot 2.
Good job by Jefferson avoiding the charge, which would have been his 5th.
Kind of slid a little bit to the one side and was able to avoid the contact. Financial support for this Cardinals basketball broadcast is provided in part by the Foundations of East Chicago, dedicated to helping our community through our grant programs, academic scholarships, and overall leadership initiatives. We make sure these programs are available to all East Chicago residents so we can help make our community the best that it can be. It's off or on the court. Foundations of East Chicago are in and on your corner. For more information, visit their website, www.foundationsec.org. Jefferson trying to make a pair here and cut the lead to 1. Can't get it done. Jakubowski the rebound. 10 points in the game for Damian, and now travel on the Warriors. And that's 20 miscues. Bishop Knoll came in averaging 10 turnovers a game, and the Cardinals have doubled up on their miscues tonight.
Well, the Cardinals will do that to you. I thought that was a great job by Lee Howard Jr. running the floor. Took a little bit of an extra step. Good call that time by the officiating crew.
46-44 Warriors, 2:48 remaining in regulation. Edwards playing with 4 fouls, up high with the basketball. Right side to Kuznar. 2:39 left. Bounce pass right at the ankles of Jefferson. They turn it over. Chrysler goes the other way, missed it. Tip job, no good. And then Reedus is going to get called over the back as the Warriors hit the offensive glass.
You don't see that very often by Chrysler, leaving the layup a little bit heavy. Once again, great hustle by Howard, who was the first to get a hand on that tip.
You know, when you got a lot of momentum going to these backboards here at the Barado Center, Chris, you really have to be delicate because there is no margin for error. So Chrysler to the line, double deuce, eyes, flies, and missed yet another free throw. Bishop Knoll now, Chrysler has missed his last 4, and they missed their last 5 as a team.
We talk about E Chicago's struggles at times from the free throw line. They come in at 65%. Bishop Knoll worse than that, 62% as a team.
Chrysler missed them both. And the rebound to Ritas. They're letting the Cardinals stay right in this one. Now Ochoa took it in strong. And Bishop Knoll is going to get called for a foul on the drive. And now both teams are in the double bonus limit. That's the 4th foul now on Penn. So Jeremiah Ochoa to the line. He's 1 for 2 so far. And he will try to get the 6th tie in the evening for this ball game.
Oh, good sign for Bishop Knoll fans. Marquise Tarver at the bench waiting to come back in after limping off earlier.
Ochoa now 1 for 3 from the line. East Chicago Central tonight has now missed 8 free throws. And Bishop Knoll not much better. They have actually missed 9 tonight. So Ritas exits, replaced by Jalen Blackman as Coach Brown gets the rebounding strength back in there. So one more for the senior, Jeremiah Ochoa, who's only had 1 point tonight. 2:25 remaining in the game. The Cards trail by 2. The Cards now trail by 1. 46-45 Bishop Knoll. Gates brings it up now. Takes it in strong with a little up-handed up and under move, and he scored.
Well, he realized Jefferson has 4 fouls. Jefferson kind of backed away from him all the way down the floor.
Edwards for the tie, and he scored! Hiron Edwards with the 3-bomb from the left side, his 3rd try of the evening, his 46th of the season. And we have our 6th tie, and Edwards, that one was an NBA distance.
Well, he's been quiet this second half, and especially the 3rd quarter where he was scoreless, coming to life a little bit in this 4th quarter now with 7 points this quarter.
That's right, Maryville, your wait is finally over. Berman's Infinity of Maryville is now open. Come join the grand opening celebration. Stop in and see General Manager Jay Chang. Ask Jay about specials, test drives, and low financing. Come into Berman's Infinity of Maryville and think real value. When you think value, think Berman's Infinity of Maryville. Visit InfinityNWI.com for all specials.
Well, Michael, we have a 2-minute game here tied at 48. East Chicago came all the way back here to tie it late.
Yeah, they were down by 9 at the half and have been kind of inching and clawing their way, and now this place is really rocking as Chrysler brings it over the timeline at the right elbow, and he scored. Larry Chrysler with ice water in the veins. He now has 23. Edwards back the other way. Cross-court pass saved by Chrysler, but saved now by Ochoa. Alley-oop goes over the head of Edwards, off the head of Mike Mendoza. And the 20th turnover tonight. Both teams now with 20 miscues in the game.
Well, 2 silly passes that time by the starting backcourt in East Chicago. Ill-advised pass along the baseline by Hiron Edwards, and then Ochoa follows that up with a bad lob.
Stay tuned after the game. We'll name our Center Bank performers of the game on both sides. Now Tarver got the backdoor pass, laid it up off the back of the iron, no good. Jefferson the rebound for the Cards. 90 seconds remaining in regulation. Damian coast to coast, laid it up, and he was fouled. The hoop to harm the foul. And a chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play for the sophomore.
Well, Mike, he just blew by everybody and then gathered himself with great body control to finish along with the harm.
Jakubowski will foul in the ball game with 2 points. And a lot of players right now playing with 4, including Roman Penn for the Warriors, Hiron Edwards, Damian Jefferson, and Ricky Ritas for the Cardinals.
And at least 3 of Jakubowski's fouls came on Jefferson drives to the basket.
7 tie now of the evening. And we could be looking at our 5th lead change as Jefferson Tries to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. He's got 12 in the game, bends the knees. Eyes, flies, got it. $51-50 in favor of the Cards. 1:19 remaining. Here we go. So glad you could join us on RSN. Penn down low on the play. Big shot missed on the play by Horde. The Warriors really had a chance, and now Abe Brown's going to take a timeout now with 1:08 remaining in regulation. And East Chicago now with the basketball up by 1. We'll go ahead and take a timeout ourselves. 51-50, Cardinals with the lead. We'll be back with the exciting finish on RRSN.com and Regional Radio Sports.
There's always a moment where it's either put up or shut up. We were yelling our hearts out. Even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continue to push. I don't know where the pain went to, but all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
I think a good timeout there, Chris Adzia. Get the team. You got the lead. You've clawed your way back, and you've also got some scoreboard updates for us. Nope. But I think a good timeout there by Abe, Chris, to just get things settled down and try to take some time off the clock.
Yeah, minute 8 left, and you still have 3 timeouts if you're East Chicago. I thought that was a great timeout as well. Get your guys settled back down here. You're up by 1. You haven't played with the lead in a long time, so it's a big possession here for East Chicago, but a big miss there by Jalen Horde. It would have been a big first 2 points of his night. Couldn't get the reverse to fall for the Warriors.
Yeah, they had a good look there. They wish they had that one back. Ochoa gets the inbounds pass. They get it right back to Edwards. Hiron now brings it up with 1 minute. 1 minute remaining, and a steal by Chrysler. Huge turnover. Chrysler the other way. Couldn't get it to go, and Jefferson gets fouled on the play. And again, Larry Chrysler a little bit too hard off the backboard, but you can't fault the effort.
Well, you talk about finishing games to open this ball game. We talked about East Chicago's game against Griffith. They played 28 minutes with built a double-digit lead. Couldn't finish the game late against Griffith. Let's see if they can do it here up by a point under a minute remaining.
They still have not posted who that foul was against.
I'm guessing Marquise Tarver by his reaction, but not sure.
That'll be his first if it is. So Jefferson, who right now is 3 for 5 from the line tonight, and he got that one to go. 52-50 Cards. 56 seconds remaining. Both teams are in the double bonus. Of course, you're looking for three-point shooters. Tarver's had one tonight. He's got 33 on the season for B&I. One more for Damian. 52-50 Cards. 53-50 East Chicago. 56 seconds remaining. Gates gets it inbounds to Chrysler. Brings it up now on Ochoa. Takes it up strong. Little finger roll, no good. Ochoa back out to Jefferson. Now spin-a-rama move. He got the shot blocked, but Edwards comes back with the basketball, and then he got fouled at the timeline.
Well, that's the guy you want with the ball right now, and at the free throw line, Hiron Edwards, confident enough to make the big free throws late in the ball game. East Chicago got another big miss there by Chrysler in transition.
Second personal on Ty Gates. So Hiron Edwards, as you mentioned, the guy you want there on the charity stripe, coming in at 72%. He's on a little bit of a streak now. I think he's over 10 in a row. And boy, he is just in the groove right now. He's got 8 in the quarter, 16 in the game tonight. Averages 20.1. It's now a two-possession game with 41.9 remaining. One more for the junior. Bends the knees. Eyes, flies, got it. 17 in the game, 9 in this quarter for Edwards. 55-50. Gates the other way. Ochoa with a huge steal. Knocks it back into the backcourt. Chrysler recovers. Larry Down on the baseline to Gates. Up and under. Blocked by Ochoa, but then they foul him on the second attempt. But Jeremiah again with another huge block.
Well, they could have called a jump ball on that as well if they wanted to. It would have been possession to E Chicago. Ochoa with a great block.
They get Blackman with the foul. That's his first. So Gates will get an opportunity to put some points on the board here with the clock stopped. 27.1 seconds remaining. Ty's first free throw, no good. Boy, Gates is just having all kinds of problems along with Chrysler from the line tonight.
Well, Gates now 0 of 3 in this quarter. Missed 2 big ones earlier.
One more for Double Deuce, and he missed them both. And the rebound knocked out of bounds off the Warriors. It'll be B&I ball. Or check that, Cardinal ball.
Well, down 5, Bishop Knoll going to have to foul in a hurry with 24.9 remaining.
East Chicago trying to pick up win number 11. Ochoa now does get fouled by Tarver. So Jeremiah, the senior, will go back to the line. Right now it's a 2-possession game for EC.
Ochoa 2 of 4 on the night all this quarter from the free throw line.
Bishop Knoll this quarter 0 for 7 from the free throw line.
They're 10 of 14 through the first 3 quarters.
And that is definitely a key in this game right now as Ochoa got the first free throw.
Senior leadership there after splitting a couple. Makes the big one. That makes it a 6-point game. This now becomes even a bigger one.
East Chicago now 11 of 14 from the line this quarter. One more for Jeremiah. He's got 3 points tonight. This would make it a 3-possession ball game, and he does. Ice water in the veins for the senior. 57-50. 20 seconds remaining. Chrysler with a wild 3, and he scored. Chrysler with his 20th 3 of the season. And that was a prayer there, Chris, from the left side, but that keeps Bishop Knoll alive.
That leaves Bishop Knoll with 1 timeout. We saw him hit a baseline jumper, a mid-range jumper, kind of like that earlier where he forced it a little bit. 1 timeout remaining now for Bishop Knoll, down 6. East Chicago needs to draw up a play and get the ball back into Hiram Edwards' hands as they did last time.
.21 quarter for East Chicago here. But Bishop Knoll 0 for 7. Some of those front ends of 1-and-1s as well, Chris. Chrysler leading the Warriors in scoring in all scores with 26 tonight. 13 for Tarver and 12 for Gates. So again, they got the 3 players in double-digit scoring, but so far nothing else besides the 2 points for Jakubowski with support.
So this quarter, Chrysler with 9 points. The only other player to score this quarter for Bishop Knoll is Gates' 2-point basket. East Chicago really getting it done from the free throw line this quarter.
So Bishop Knoll brings them up now, full court. Both teams over the double bonus limit, 57-53 Cardinals. 15.4 seconds remaining. East Chicago trying to improve to 11-6 and break the 9-game winning streak for Bishop Knoll. Ball knocked out of bounds, and they're going to call a push in the back on Gates in the corner.
That's okay if you're Bishop Knoll. You get what you're going to get anyway with no time taken off the clock. You foul before the ball gets in.
So Jeremiah will go back to the line. He's 4 of 6 this quarter. Edwards is 4 for 4. And Jefferson 4 for 5. So they have been making a living here on the charity stripe down the stretch. Either way, it'll still be a 2-possession game with only 14 seconds remaining. And Ochoa missed the first one. If you're Bishop Knoll, you come down quickly and try to get a 2, and then a quick foul. You don't have to throw up a 3 yet. So one more for Jeremiah. 14.4 seconds remaining. 57-53 East Chicago. Now 58-53. Cardinals now on defense. Chrysler brings it up. He'll pop the tray. No good. Rebound comes up high to Blackman. Quickly to Edwards. He's got Jefferson up the court on the play, but Hiron is just going to try to milk some time off the clock. And East Chicago Central is going to come out here with a win, Chris. And a great job by the senior leadership for the Cardinals to overcome the foul trouble and the deficit.
Very smart by Hiron. Dribble out. Don't need to shoot at this juncture. Gets fouled, and what a nice comeback by East Chicago. I thought they were really struggling early to come back and beat a real fine Bishop Knoll squad. This is a great victory for the Cardinals.
Edwards finally misses a free throw. He'll get one more. So Bishop Knoll is going to see their 9-game winning streak go by the wayside. As that shot was no good. Did Hiron miss the second one there,
He missed
Chris?
both of them.
So Edwards missed both of them. So the final score out here tonight is the Bishop Knoll Warriors falling to the East Chicago Central Cardinals. East Chicago Central 58 and Bishop Knoll 53. So with the loss, Bishop Knoll will fall on the campaign to 16-3, and East Chicago Central will improve to 11-6 on the year. So a terrific effort by both these ball clubs. They will now move on to finish out the regular season next week before heading to their respective sectionals in 2A for the Warriors and 4A for East Chicago Central. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. We'll come back. We'll name our Centaur players of the game, Centaur Bank players of the game, and we'll also go through our final starts as well, following the 58-53 win for East Chicago Central over Bishop Knoll on RSN.com and Regional Radio Sports.
Do you want a loan decision in just 15 minutes? Well, of course you do. No matter what your dream purchase, when you apply for a loan from Horizon Bank, we'll give you a quick response so you can buy it. Today, you'll get a decision about your loan within 15 minutes of submitting your application, guaranteed. Exceptional service, sensible advice. That's our promise to you.
Exceptional service, sensible advice. Horizon Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Learn more at horizonbank.com.
Franciscan Omni Health and Fitness is a complete health and fitness center that has served Northwest Indiana and the South Chicagoland communities for more than 35 years. With 2 locations in Shiverville and Chesterton, you can use 2 clubs for the price of 1. Omni continues to add new exciting fitness experiences, programs, and equipment, keeping our clubs on the cutting edge of health and fitness. Check out our website or call 219-865-6969 for Shiverville, 219-983-9832 for Chesterton.
Centaur Bank has been named a 2013 top 3 best place to work in Indiana by the Indiana Chamber of Commerce, and they couldn't have done it without the trust, loyalty, and friendship of you, their valued customers. In return, they work hard to give you solid financial answers and outstanding customer service. Together with the community, they create one great place to work and bank. Centaur Bank, member FDIC.
Mike Konezovich, Chris Adzia, Ryan Konezovich back with you here. So we get set to wrap it up from the Barado Center. 58-50, East Chicago Central with the victory over Bishop Knoll tonight. It was 19-10 Warriors at the end of the first quarter of play. 35-28 at the half in favor of the visitors. East Chicago Central cut one more point off the lead in the third quarter as we headed to the fourth quarter with Bishop Knoll leading 42-36. But a 22-11 run in the fourth quarter play, Chris, put it away for the Cards as they win at 58-53.
Yeah, credit East Chicago's defense in that second half. Bishop Knoll scored 35, on pace for a 70-point game, which would have been above their 64 or 69.5 point average. You've been right on it, basically. And they held Bishop Knoll to 18 points that second half, only 7 points in that third quarter, and that's really where we saw the game change.
They were 10 of 14 from the line heading into the fourth quarter of play and went 0 for 7 from the charity stripe. They lose the game by 5, and they miss 11 free throws tonight.
So we talk about closing out a game. In East Chicago, look no further than the free throw line, as you just said. Bishop Knoll missed 11 all night. 0 for 7 was Bishop Knoll in that final quarter, where East Chicago saw themselves 13 for 19 from the charity stripe in that final stanza. That's the difference in the ballgame.
4 of 6 for Edwards in the quarter. Ochoa had 5 free throws made and 4 for Jefferson in 5 attempts. And as you mentioned, Chris, that's the way it ended. 48 free throws combined for both of these teams, and if anything, they certainly got a lot of practice with a lot of pressure on them.
Well, and I hope nobody here had a bedtime tonight as we approach 10 o'clock. It's been a long evening with senior night, a lot of whistles and so forth, but certainly one of the more enjoyable games, especially the first half, and then later on in that fourth quarter that we've seen all year.
So both teams end up missing 11 free throws tonight, but East Chicago Central able to outscore the Warriors from the field. Both teams also combining for over 40 turnovers in the ball game as well. So it certainly wasn't a work of art that's going to get sent down to Newcastle, Chris, but nonetheless, I think both ball clubs are going to be the better for it here in the postseason.
Yeah, we thought we would have a competitive game. There was all kinds of quickness on both sides of the benches there, and we kind of saw that take over a little bit in the second half. Both offenses seemed a little bit unsure of itself there in the second half when the game started to get tight. But give credit to East Chicago. We've seen games in the past where they've struggled from the free throw line. They got it done when they needed to, when it was most important tonight in the fourth quarter.
Let's take a look at the final scoring here, Chris.
Well, for Bishop Knoll, they dropped to 16-3. They played 10 players. Only 4 of them scored. 2 points by Michael Jakubowski. 12 points by Ty Gates, 13 points by Marquise Tarver, and 26 points to lead all scorers from Larry Chrysler tonight. Bishop Knoll was 10 of 21 from the free throw line, 3 of 9 from behind the three-point arc. For the East Chicago Central Cardinals, they improved to 11-6 with this big victory. They also played 10 players tonight, and 7 players was in the scoring column. They were led in scoring by Hiram Edwards with 17 points, Damian Jefferson with 15 points. The third player in double digits was Jalen Blackman. He had 12 points, and then from there it was Jeremiah Ochoa with 5, Ricky Reedus with 4, Jermaine Kuznard with 3, and Jamar Adams with 2. East Chicago overall was 16 of 27 from the free throw line, 4 of 11 from behind the arc. They finished the ball game with 13 offensive rebounds, Mike.
And I couldn't hear. Did you do both teams, Chris? Okay. So 58-53, the victory for the homestanding East Chicago Central Cardinals. Chris, time now to name our Center Bank performers of the ball game for both ball clubs. A game that had a lot of players get on the score sheet here, but one certainly stood out for the Bishop Knoll Warriors.
Yeah, 26 points by Larry Chrysler. He had 12 at halftime, 17 at the end of 3, and then 26. And certainly he was a very physical and athletic player for Coach Belawandamy tonight. And, he averages 16 points a game. He's a senior leader for the Warriors, and certainly was that tonight as well.
Chrysler, of course, going to be playing baseball over at Indiana University, and all-state outfielder for that particular program, so a multiple sport athlete. So congratulations to Larry Chrysler, the 6'3 senior, 26 points tonight. Gets our Center Bank Performer of the Game for Bishop Knoll. What do you think for the Cardinals, Chris?
Well, I think we have an argument between several different players here. East Chicago battling foul trouble with 3 leaders of their ball club all night. You could make a real legitimate argument for their third highest scorer tonight, Jalen Blackman, when Hiram Edwards and Jeremiah Ochoa went to the bench with their 2 fouls in the second quarter. It was Jalen Blackman with an 8-point quarter. He had 10 at the half. Only ended with 12 points, but certainly I think you could make an argument for Jalen Blackman. He scored when East Chicago needed him most. Obviously, it was Hiram Edwards and Damian Jefferson scoring late. We pick those guys all the time, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, my vote's for Jalen Blackman tonight.
The other, that's a point well taken, Chris, and I thought that the other guy that really did a lot of things tonight that didn't show up on the scoreboard was Jeremiah Ochoa defensively.
He always does it defensively. He sat in the bench for a while with those 2 fouls, but he set the tempo there in the third quarter. And I thought Bishop Knoll became a one-on-one team quite a bit, and give credit to Ochoa with his on the ball defense.
So Jalen Blackman, a 6'4 senior for the East Chicago Central Cardinals, gets our Center Bank Performer of the ball game with those 12 points. Also picked up a ton of rebounds as well as tonight. And those 8 points in that quarter, Chris, certainly kept East Chicago in the game. They were still down by 7, but without his performance, especially being down by 9 heading into the stanza, really was critical.
Yeah, it kept East Chicago within striking distance, and while we're passing out kudos, I thought Ricky Reedus had a tremendous first half. And again, you're not going to see it in the point column. He only had 4 points on the night. He was a man and a beast on the boards, especially early on the offensive side of things for East Chicago.
So we're going to flip it over on the audio side of things for East Chicago Central basketball next week, as Chris and I will be heading over to the Steel City in what should be a very entertaining ball game. The Bowman Academy Eagles hosting the East Chicago Central Cardinals next Tuesday, the 25th of February. And certainly East Chicago Central right now, they can't really enjoy the fruits of this victory too long. They're going to be right back in action in South Bend tomorrow.
Yeah, they travel out to South Bend. Adams, who's 11-6 on the year, having a fine year. And, we talk about East Chicago's schedule all the time. They go from tonight beating the number 3 team in 2A to 11-6 team in 4A. And then next week in the Steel City, they get the number 2 team in 3A in the Eagles of Bowman Academy.
And meanwhile, Bishop Knoll, they will continue on in Greater South Shore Conference play as well as non-conference play here down the stretch, Chris.
Yeah, they will host Michigan City next week. Michigan City started the night 11-6. They were playing Maryville tonight. We did not get a final yet of that game. They were down by 2 at halftime. You expect Michigan City to come back and improve to 12-6 playing Maryville. And then Bishop Knoll will end on the road at a nice rival at Andrean.
So our post-game report was brought to us by the Foundations of East Chicago. Financial support for this Cardinals basketball broadcast is provided in part by the Foundations of East Chicago, dedicated to helping our community through our grant programs, academic scholarships, and overall leadership initiatives. We make sure these programs are available to all East Chicago residents so we can help make our community the best that it can be, whether it's on or off the court. The Foundations of East Chicago were in and on your corner. Final thoughts, Chris?
It was a fun one, Mike. We thought it would be very athletic and fun to watch, and, it was a very entertaining first half where the action got up and down a little bit more in the second half, but the outcome was what we thought it would be in a fierce rivalry. It came down to the wire and free throw shooting, and East Chicago came out on top tonight. Nice win.
Stay tuned for more action tomorrow on the girls' side of things. Yours truly and Pat Doherty will be over at Caston High School in Fulton, Indiana, for the ball game between the Morgan Township Cherokees at 15-6, taking on the number 1 rated and 19-2 Oregon Davis Bobcats. Our pregame coverage tomorrow morning starts at 11 o'clock Central with tip-off at 11:30 on WTMK 88.5 FM, RRSN.com, and Regional Radio Sports, and then championship action on RRSN.com tomorrow night as the winners of West Central and Hamilton and Morgan Township and Oregon Davis play in the championship game, with our pregame coverage starting at 6:30. Dave Miller and Steve Dahl will be over on WEFM 95.9 FM for Class 4A basketball action, with Penn taking on Maryville at 9:30, and then at 11:30 it'll be the Northridge Raiders battling the Gary Westside Cougars in girls regional championship action. We want to thank all of our terrific sponsors here tonight on RRSN.com, and they included State Farm Insurance. We also want to thank ArcelorMittal, Scapel Buick, and Center Bank. Teachers Credit Union stepping up big time along with the United States Marine Corps, Breakthrough Podiatry, and Horizon Bank. We also want to thank Berman's Infinity of Maryville, Indiana, Omni 41 Health and Fitness, Albert's Diamond Jewelers of Cherville, Indiana, Levin Tire, earning your trust one day at a time since 1918. Also Tech Credit Union, Christensen Chevrolet on 45th and Indianapolis Boulevard in Highland. Purdue University Calumet on the web at calumet.purdue.edu. Schwartz Retson and Company in Maryville. Nitco, connected always and on the web at nitco.com. Tonight's game was also brought to you in part by these East Chicago Central sponsors, including Fife Funeral Home on Indianapolis Boulevard in East Chicago. The Foundations of East Chicago. Attorney Lonnie Randolph on Columbus Drive in East Chicago. American Legion post number 369 on Chicago Avenue in East Chicago. And Calumet College of St. Joseph's, your university of choice for degrees in forensic science, restoration, ecology, exercise, and sports sciences, and pre-professional life science on the web at www.ccsj.edu. Special thanks to Trino Cavazos, the athletic director, for his fine hospitality. Also thanks go out to the two head coaches, Abe Brown, along with Josh Belwamini of Bishop Knoll, for pregame interview accessibility and statistics prior to tonight's ball game. So for Ryan Konezovich, along with Chris Adzia, this is Mike Konezovich saying so long from the John A. Barato Center on the campus of East Chicago Central, where East Chicago Central improves to 11-6 on the season, breaking a 9-game winning streak by Bishop Knoll tonight with a 58-53 victory over the Warriors. God bless America. God bless you all. Have a safe and wonderful evening, everybody. So long from East Chicago Central High School.